harvest for maize, and we are certain even this season we are going to have a good harvest, and we are secure in terms of food security.
Good harvest, despite the forecast saying we're going to have less than normal rains.
We have enough stocks even to carry over. Yes.
Thank you very much, Waziri. I'd like to also have a chat with the Governor. Yes. Hi, Governor. Thank you for welcoming us here in your county. What is the state of food security in your county today?
We are fairly stable, as indicated by Waziri. We have been, our farmers were beneficiaries of the various programs by national government, but also interventions by county government in terms of the subsidy program, also in terms of the aggressive extension, courtesy of the partnership that we have with many other partners. So we think that we have had increased productivity across the various value chains, maize being one of them, but also, vegetables, and the general cereals within the agriculture sector. So we are stable as a county. Yeah.
With agriculture being a devolved function, that means that changamoto zote zenye ziko kwa industry nyinyi wenye mko kwa ground mnazifeel sana. What would you say is the greatest challenge you're facing? The
greatest challenge facing the agriculture sector is financing. It's really, how do we finance? As you indicated, the Maputo Declaration on 10% of our national budget should go to agriculture. We are fairly far from that. But I think we are also leveraging on resources within our development partner sector, and a lot of the programs you can see here are supported by our development partners. But also we are aggressively engaging private sector, because we want to just harness the resources available within the country. So if we can get in the private sector, we get in our development partners, create also a synergy between national government and county government so that we do not have duplication of resources. We can create synergy that the little resources that we have can be put into practical, agricultural interventions that can be able to increase productivity. And that is exactly what we are doing. And that is why we think that national government, county governments must work collectively so that then we utilize the available resources for greater impact.
Would you say that the soils in your county are healthy?
We have a number of programs that are geared towards doing the soil testing. And I think one of the greatest way of correcting the challenge that exists right now is what the national government is doing in terms of giving us blended or soil-specific fertilizer or farm inputs for our counties, and we are happy with that. We are just still encouraging our farmers to agree with us that we can do all this soil testing across the county. Also, some of this obsession with the DAP can be explained that this has been, brought about by many years of being used to DAP. Sometimes when you bring blended fertilizer, our farmers look at the fertilizer and they are like, no, this doesn't look like good quality. We are encouraging our farmers to trust technology, that once we test our soils, let us appreciate that expert advice is that let's use this fertilizer, not the other one, so that we can help deal with our soil health in our counties.
Finally, Governor, land fragmentation and subdivisions is a big, might call it a problem. Some people see it as a problem in various parts of the country. The farm size are getting smaller and smaller. The population is increasing. How do you think this will play out in terms of the food security of the county in the next maybe 5 or 10 years?
That is one of the biggest challenges that we are facing not just as a county, but actually as a country. That the land fragmentation is at a very high speed. But I think there are now interventions to try and deal with this. One of it is that we are losing a lot of our land towards, settlement by people. And I think the national program on housing is meant to ensure that we do not have to continuously fragment our land for settlement. Let us have population living within, identified urban areas. Then we allow the farms to be available for food production. The second thing also is that we must also ensure that we adopt new technologies that ensures increased productivity on small pieces of land. You've just seen what we have seen right now here on kitchen gardens, and how you can actually adopt better agricultural practices that utilizes small pieces of land to increase productivity. So I think it's a multi-sectoral approach, but we must be able to confront this if we have to secure food security in our country.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll not take much of your time. Let me allow you to proceed. Thank you. Hi, CSC. Good to see you too. Good to see you too. Great. So as we allow the dignitaries to proceed, we're also going to have a chat with the Food and Agriculture Organization, the Deputy Country Representative. Hello, sir. How are you? You well? Great. So tell me, some of the technologies here on display are things to do with conservation agriculture. What does that mean?
Basically, that is what you could call, in another way, the climate smart agriculture. What you're trying to do, in a nutshell, is to produce more with less. This is what conservation agriculture, climate smart agriculture gives you. And that is what we're doing here. We're looking at the shrinking land space. We are looking at the cost of inputs becoming very expensive day and day. Even sourcing them is also becoming a challenge. Then what we're saying is let's deploy technologies. Let's also expand on information and knowledge to our farmers so that they're able to increase. It's just not production anymore, but productivity, where the small space is able to give you more than what even a bigger space can give you if you don't practice well.
Given that at least 75% of our food production in the country is by smallholder farmers, what will this conservation agriculture look like for somebody who has like half an acre?
Yeah, so that's why we've called it boosting sustainable production. I might want to really just expand on that a little, because what we're looking at is those that are medium potential. How do we take them to maximum potential? They have the ability, but some things are hindering them from reaching their maximum potential. And that's why we called this particular project like that. So what we're doing is, like, for instance, coming up with those initiatives like the kitchen garden. And you have seen in there how a small space can be made rotational. And in every step, you are planting maybe a different type of kind of vegetable. You're also bringing in some spices if you like. So you will have a very consolidated production within a very small area. By the way, this emanates also from what we used to call the urban food systems, which we've implemented here in Kenya. FAO implemented in Kisumu and Nairobi counties. The technologies that you have seen there in urban systems or settlements, we have them, and they can even be done in balconies. People can do their vegetables in balconies. So you don't tell me again that I'm living in this place and no, I don't have the land. People do, including fish ponds on balconies nowadays. These are the initiatives that are there. They're very innovative in nature, and they allow you and give you the opportunity. One thing you realize is that we've been doing farming traditionally. Producing, in agriculture here, very, very traditionally, as a way of life and something like that. So all we're doing here is bringing in new technology and knowledge, passing it on into to farmers, and then they're also able to pass it on to others. Yeah.
Now, we are at a demonstration plot. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on here?
Yeah, so what's going on here is how you could use your small piece of land. First of all, you could see that there are different intercropped varieties here. That also has to happen in a particular structured way and in a programmed way, where you have legumes, you know how to blend that with pulses, you know how to blend that with also grasses. So because different crops will consume different nutrients from the soil. And then next season you are able to rotate the same. But again, another very interesting one we saw on the other side there is where within the same plot, you got those crops that are intermixed there, and they benefit each other. You know, as legumes, they capture in the nitrogen and then they release it to maize. You know, that's that. So in between there, they're also complementing each other. They behave like human beings, like us. They're like couples, actually. Yes, and this is what you do with your small garden. Look over there, and you see what you can do with the edges of your crop. So we have the maize plant inside the field, but at the edge, that edge has been utilized. You know, before you'd find, if you walk along the farms, you find that the edge point is left. You know, it's grassy, it's bushy, nobody takes care of it. And sometimes that bushy part also starts affecting those crops at the edge as well. So you lose a lot in that ends. But if you see that technology there, you got the crops at the middle, that's okay. But again, we're still having napier grass along the main crop there. So our cattle are benefiting from the napier grass, as they also keep the crops also safe inside.
So that's the push-pull technology.
The push-pull technology, exactly.
How does it push the, how does, yeah. So how does it exactly help to repel the insects?
You know, now when the insects come, these insects are also choosy, you know that? So they're going to eat something specific, not everything that is on their way. And so when they come in there, they will go and pick on what they want to eat. As they concentrate on the napier side, our maize is safe. Yes.
So it's an insect that's specific to grass family.
Grass family.
Oh, okay, and that's the stalk borer.
Exactly. And
Okay.
when they are in there, our maize is safe. Yes.
And that patch over there, what's going on there? It looks a bit bushy on the.
You know, these are trials as well, and you could see the type of weed. But now when you apply, especially the organic fertilizer, and you can see there is no effect at that level, and that crop is about to silk, to tassel. When it does that, it tells you, at the way you're seeing it, that it can survive there, and it already went beyond the weeds there. So what you are doing there also, this is a very critical point maybe I need to put. What you are also doing there is how did you apply your input, especially fertilizer? What type did you put there? Did you mix with a few of the organic fertilizers? So here, as we go, you know, FAO has called this day food security for all, a better life. Yes, so what we're trying to do on that is 4 things. We'll call them 4 betters in our strategic program. Better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better life. So what we are telling farmers is that now if you want to produce, you're going to have to take care of the 4 betters. You have to produce in a manner that is climate smart. You have to produce better, the way you do your spacing, the way you apply your fertilizers and all the like. And then you must take care of what is called nutrition in the process. Food is not just food nowadays. Food has to be healthy. So we're looking at the issues of diet. Food systems transformation, which is a key point now. You must know that Kenya is one of the leading countries in this conversation. And Kenya just adopted the 5 pathways, and one of them is the healthy diets in those pathways. So the better nutrition really is another critical point in production for us. Of course, better environment deals with the conservation agriculture, minimum tillage. You know, you don't have to open the soil so much. You open it very conservatively.
Going to put. Yes, I hear people in this area, they call it farming God's way.
A good one there. Yes, but these are ways that people really, information and knowledge that we pass to farmers so that they really are aware of how they maintain their soil even as they open them up.
I know you said this is a demo and this is a maize crop. Yes. Is this spacing appropriate? It's a sorghum crop. Yes. Is this spacing appropriate and the bushiness on the ground?
Yes. So what the demos show you is that you have the main crop that you are looking at and the control crop that you're looking at. So you can see how this one, like for example, the number of stems here. You see there's so many. And then they're again also still surviving with
30% are children.
Mic check. Mic check 1. Mic check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Kaboya? Doi, iyo orange. Doi ya tumeka kwa hii. Mic check 1, 2. 1, 2. Yes, mash, come on. Mic check 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. 1, 2. Rudia 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Rudia. 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Tuko hapa hivi Kaimosi boys, Kaimosi girls. 4. Hata hivi tuko na yes. Mic check 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Rudia 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. We're live here at social media group. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Rudia.
Avocados which we have also. We were trying to put up avocado of 500,000 in the coming days of avocado to our farmers, so that you can put. It can be for we are thinking of our ladies, our mamas, our women. What is it that they can do in farming? Then we can give them the avocado to plant, to interplant with a tea.
Mimi katika hii safari ya kilimo nimetoka mbali kidogo katika kilimo ya mimea mbalimbali. Hivi punde nikapata kujua kwamba avocado ni mimea ambayo inafanya vyema hapa Nandi. So tumeona kwamba hii mimea inakuwa inakuwa nzuri kwa afya ya binadamu. Na pia tunaona kwamba hii inapendwa na wale, kuna soko kule nje. Tunapata tunaita dola mashinani sasa. Hii mimea tunaita dola mashinani, ambayo inafanya vizuri sana katika tunapatilisha maisha yetu kiuchumi, kwa sababu karo inakuwa rahisi sana, na pia management yake sio kazi ngumu. Hii mimea pia unaweza kuintercrop na other crops kama maharagwe, unaweza panda mboga za kienyeji na unapata vyakula pale, na pia unapata pesa kutoka kwa ile chakula.
Agroecology promotes the right to food by supporting local food systems. When communities grow their own food, they take charge of their health and their future.
So can we train them also to know that
So the World Food Day brings together various people, it brings together farmers and experts. And some of the experts who are here includes the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and we're joined by the country director who will tell us a little bit about why is the world slowing down on the progress that it had made on reducing hunger.
Okay, first of all, I am from IFAD. IFAD is the International Fund for Agricultural Development. So we are the only UN agency with a mandate to work with rural communities on agricultural development. So for us, this is our business. The reason why the world is slowing down, it's simply about financing. If you look at what's happening in the world, even though Africa is hard hit in terms of climate change, we are the ones with the highest number of people in terms of food malnutrition. We are the ones faced with challenges with regards to climate change. We only receive about less than 1% of climate financing for our farmers. So that's the problem. The whole problem is about financing. We have done a lot of pilot programs, we've done a lot of innovations, but now the problem is how do you scale them up? And until you have financing, you can't scale them up. So the major issue really is about financing.
And financing is a word we've had a lot today. Everybody we're speaking to is talking about the lack of financing in the agriculture sector. And we know African countries are signatories to the Maputo Declaration. The African Union itself has the Agenda 2063. Yet our governments are not keeping true to this commitment to 10%. When you look at the progress of negotiations on the agriculture agenda item at the COP, it's still slowing down. So can we genuinely say that there is political will to ensure that food security is addressed?
There is political will. The fact that government is bringing in partners like IFAD, like WFP, like FAO, really speaks to the fact that there is political will. But also let us also speak to the truth of the whole situation. There are competing needs. There are emergencies that are not planned for. Nobody planned for COVID, and it came. There are things like droughts. Nobody planned for it, and it came. And so you have to move food, resources that was meant for agricultural productivity, to those emergencies. So those emergencies are the ones that are really dragging us behind. And that's why we are saying, instead of waiting for an emergency to happen, why not invest in farming now, ensuring that, for instance, we have things like trying to ensure that we harvest water during the rainy season. So when there is drought, we can support farmers to ensure that they have enough planting times. If you do 2-3 crop in season in a year, then you can boost productivity. So those are the things. There is political will, but they have competing needs, and that's where they're bringing us partners like IFAD, like FAO, like WFP to support the government.
So the theme for this year's World Food Day is right to food, and the bulk of African farmers are rural communities, rural farmers that you work with. Even in Kenya, about 70-80% of food production comes from those small-scale rural communities. The bulk of this labor is provided by women. These women don't have the access to this land. They don't own this land. They don't make the decisions for this land. Do you see this affecting food security in any way?
Of course. Of course it affects food security in every way. By the way, do you know that a few days back, it was a day of the rural women? It did not receive the attention that it deserved, but that was a day allocated to rural women. Women are the backbone of the economy. If you don't support 50% of your population to make sure that they are involved in the productivity, that in itself is a problem. So when you look at the laws do not favor women. And we've been talking about this all the time. We have to ensure that they have access to land and all that. But more importantly, we also have to ensure that they have the assets. They have the assets to be able to get the resources from the banks. When you go to the bank, they ask for collateral. Women don't have that. So these are the things we should be working on. And we've been talking about this for years. But I think it's about time that we really, really now move from discussing to actions. Because when you look at the theme for this year, right to food, and it's enshrined in the Constitution. But how many times have we really referenced it in the Constitution? That's the question that I keep asking myself. When you speak to lawyers and they talk about political things, they are quick to mention the Constitution. Article this, article that. But let me ask you, do you know what article really is referencing right to food? We don't. So as partners, as a government, as communities, we need to ensure that our communities know that it's their right. It's their right to ensure that we provide the right seeds at the right time. If you provide a seed for a farmer in August, when she's supposed to be planting in June, you are breaching the Constitution. So, we need to discuss all those things in totality. So that, for me, is the issue. In as much as it's in the Constitution, we need to ensure that we know which article, we know which section, so we can, when we're advocating for our women.
Finally, still speaking about the rural women and the right to food, and actually rural communities in general, who are the bulk of the farmers. These communities, yes, they feed the continent, but they are barely able to feed themselves. Why is this?
Well, it's a communities because they need money to take care of their families. I mean, they need to sell the corn so that they can pay for school fees, so that they can pay for all those things. But there is some interesting discussion that you were just speaking with this. Yes, you're talking about the size, the land size of the communities. It's getting smaller, and this is one thing you cannot expand. There is no way Kenya will say, I need to now expand my land so that I have more space and all that. But what we can do is to support the farmers to have multiple cropping and also increase their productivity. You can have a 5-acre land, and if your productivity is low, somebody with a 1-acre land but can do 2-3 cropping season in a year and ensure that they have more productivity is better off than you. So to your question as to why they feed the world yet they are food insecure, it's because they also have to balance the needs. They have to sell some of the food and then to take care of the school fees, to take care of the medical issues and all that. So in the end, they are left with little to eat. But if we boost productivity and we make sure that they do the farming as a business, then they should be able to sell and still have enough to eat.
Thank you very much. You catch up with us, yes. Thank you so much, and it's always great catching up with you. Yes. So the day continues, and we're just going to move on to another exhibition over here. Actually, this is one of my favorite exhibitions here, where they have these pits, such as this one here, where they are putting vegetable in and growing maize. If you just come with just look at how beautiful this vegetable looks. The farmer digs a hole, and this hole has specific specifications on the depth, the length, the depth and the circumference. And in that hole, you mix the soil with the manure, and that's where you plant the seeds. And the seeds vary from number to number, depending on depending on the size of the hole. So this, what it does is that it holds the water for longer, and if it holds the water for longer, then the crop is able to be this healthy. Now just look at how beautiful that skuma looks. It's like you just want to start eating it right now. But one of the reasons we're here is you're here to speak to someone else. Please excuse me one moment. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To an expert to tell us a little bit more about this vegetable and why it looks so leafy and why anything close to that beautiful. But in the meantime, we're just going to cross over to this exhibit. I'm very well. This is the Deputy Country Director of World Food Program, Mr. Sanko, who is also here at the World Food Day. So, tell me a little bit about what you're seeing right now.
What we're doing here is basically promoting what we call the sweet potatoes. These potatoes is really, really nutritious. It grows very fast. It's drought resistant, and it's locally grown. Yeah, and what we're trying to do is how we can promote this at larger scale to ensure that we can link these smallholder farmers to schools, because we all know that the school creates a market. But at the same time, the reason why smallholder farmers don't produce is because they're excess, they don't have a market. And at the same time, we also know that the kids, they need to eat fresh food. And so this is like a 50-50% gain, wherein the farmers are able to grow crops which are fast, and they're able to sell their excess in the market. The kids, on the other hand, enjoy a fresh meal in school. So it's really what a great way of supporting smallholder farmers, and what a great way of ensuring that the kids have a great, healthy and safety meal in schools.
It's interesting that you're targeting children, and here in Kenya it's always said that potatoes are a poor man's food. This particular sweet potatoes particularly are a poor man's food, and as such we don't really eat them in our homes. You'll find only the rural communities eating them, and in fact they'll even ask you, are you starving, are you poor, do you have no money to buy some meat or something else? So as you're targeting these children, how are you changing this perception?
What we're currently doing, we're working with the private sector. We're working that is basically a grassroots organization. They are going in, talking to the communities, talking to the farmers to understand that what is important in the sweet potatoes, what minerals, what advantages can you get. I can give you a typical example. My country, who I am today, we actually don't only eat the tubers, but we actually eat the leaves.
Which country is that?
From Sierra Leone. We also eat the leaves, and across West Africa, it's well known that potatoes are one of the most nutritious food. So what we're bringing in now is, how do we change those mindsets? And by changing this mindset, what? We need to get to the grassroots. But it's not just about saying you have to eat potatoes. It's about going through ensuring that they understand why they should be eating potatoes. What is the nutritional value that is in potatoes? Once they're able to understand it, then people can grow in slowly. And what we've done is also we have a program that we call PDAT. PDAT is wherein we have community leaders within the health sector. They go out there, they sit together and look at what are their issues. Why are children in some households nourished while others are not malnourished? And we have those discussions. We start looking at what are they doing in those households that others are not doing. Then based on that, we develop a local pattern of what they can consume to ensure that they're able to nourish their kids.
So listening to you say that in your country you also eat the leaves, one of the things I'm picking up is that food security, the definition of, one of the problems with food security is the definition of food itself. That what one community considers food, another community does not.
You rightly said it. What we require as food security is about perceptions. It's about culture. And I think that's why we as WFP and the government come in, to be able to bring lessons learned from other countries. Food in one country, it's different. And even in Kenya, you can go to some countries, they're not eating a specific amount of food. But I think our World Food Program and other key stakeholders in the food security market, including the government, in how to help our own people to understand that you should not be looking food based on your culture. You should be looking food based on the nutritional value that it brings to you.
So one of the key things about the displays here today and the conversations here today is conservation agriculture, smart agriculture, sustainable farming, sustainable food production. What is smart about these potatoes?
What is smart about these potatoes is about, it's not about how many acreages that you have. It's about how you grow it in a small space of land and you are able to feed your own family. Previously, other potatoes, you might require 2 acres of land to grow for your own family. But with this, because it's local, it's locally produced, the soil really meets its own needs. You just need a small space of land to actually grow for yourself in a house.
The way potatoes are usually grown, I don't know if maybe I can join you in there for a moment. The way potatoes, what's the word? Banded together? The same still apply when you're growing this?
The same similar approach goes with the same similar approach that you used to grow the old way. It's the same similar approach. What is different here is the type of potatoes we are using, the variety that we are using, the variety have. But in terms of using manure, in terms of preparing the soil, that's a bit different. We're really engaging with the Ministry of Agriculture, we're engaging with the local agricultural council, and we're also engaging with the private sector to bring in that skill to ensure that we grow the sweet potatoes in an atmosphere wherein we can have the best out of it.
I see the mounds are
because what we're looking at, we're not looking at how high is the soil. What we're looking at, how to ensure that the tubers themselves are able to anchor in the soil and be even a lot of soil. But you don't require a lot of soil. You just need to ensure that the tubers, as they grow, there is a soil that is covering them. Also knowing that if the hips are high, you require a lot of manure. This also helps us in saving the amount of manure that you actually use for the plants to grow.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanko. I'll allow you to, I'll not take up too much of your time. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm looking forward to eat some of it when it's harvest time. How long before it's harvested?
Well, basically in the 3 months, you will have a good harvest. And what we're looking forward to in Kenya is how can we go beyond not just the tubers, but also the leaves, because they are very nutritious. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we are in Kaimosi in Nandi County, and I'm not here alone. My colleague Masharia is also here, and he's on the other side of this farm talking to farmers. Masharia, what are the farmers over there telling you?
Well, just as Zainab has put it clearly, we are at the exhibition side. Here we are seeing tens of tens and hundreds of people streaming in from different places just to come in. Remember, key stakeholders in this entire event are farmers who mostly are at the bottom of the food chain as we mark the World Food Day. Because we are in County 0 number 029, that is Nandi County, definitely it is well known for tea growing. And as you can see, the display tents do not just have people who are displaying their inventions, who are displaying their innovations. We also have key stakeholders in terms of inventors, shareholders in different side over here. Also, we've seen a number of students all over coming all and about just to have a glimpse on what agriculture partakes in this entire country and just the globe in terms of the World Food Day. Standing next to me is one of a key organization and key stakeholders who have been key players in terms of, because we're in Nandi County, definitely. So you told me most farmers are doing tea farming, right? So maybe they'll just tell us in brief, starting with your name, what is the space of tea farming here in Nandi County and definitely all over Kenya?
Thank you so much. I'm Isaiah Kiget. I'm the group manager for Siret Outgrowers Empowerment and Producer Tea Company. We have Empowerment Tea Factory and Siret Tea Factory, and we collect leaf from around 20,000 tea growers within Nandi. Most of our growers in Nandi, the livelihood of most of the people in Nandi, they depend on tea. So we have the 2 tea factories, and we produce almost 10 million kilograms of black tea, which we sell, some locally, and most of it is exported. Over 90% goes out for exports.
So you've just mentioned about growers. That means there is space in your company for the bottom person in the whole food chain. Who are these growers, and that was the space in terms of your activities as a company?
Our company is unique because the same growers are not just growers. They are the owners of this company. They are the shareholders. They are the ones who pull the resources and bought Siret from a multinational company called Eastern Produce. So they bought Siret factory. After owning Siret factory, they pulled the resources again and constructed Kamarich this factory.
So just to interject, you keep saying they. Who are these they?
These are small-scale tea growers.
Okay, just to clarify also, we are marking the World Food Day. So definitely tea is not the only food on the chain. As the world is changing, everything is changing, climate action and all that. What is the space of other crops? Is it still within your chain or your organization or your growers to practice other activities?
Yes, we are educating our growers to diversify. In fact, we have established nurseries for avocado farms, which we are distributing the seedlings to our farmers to plant avocados. We are also ventured into coffee. We are doing coffee. We are also doing indigenous trees. This is to support the environment and also our farmers so that they can diversify and get more income streams.
So maybe approximately can tell us how many farmers have been involved in this, how many years of practicing this have you guys been carrying on this activity, and probably also tell us the space of value addition, because that has been a key point all over here. What is the space of value addition, not just in tea but in most of these products, keeping in mind that it is the farmer who should be benefiting more from value addition?
Farmers started small. They were supplying leaf to multinational companies. That was around 2006, 2009. Then they pulled resources 2009. By 2016, they had owned the cigarette factory. Then by 2021, they had built their own factory. Now, the space of value addition, the lady I'm standing with is in charge of value addition in our company. And she is packing teas in small packages, which is affordable for the common man within. So it is our work. She packs in small quantities and distribute also to the farmers and other people who consume tea. So in fact, our vision is we do more of the value-added teas. We started and we are growing.
Now, since you're in Nandi County, maybe you can just tell us of the value. If you allow me just talk to her for a minute, of the value addition and the product chain. Tell us what is the benefit of the farmer? How are we helping the farmers to do the value addition rather than taking it to the processing level and the industry out there taking raw materials?
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry. Okay, thank you very much. We are helping farmers with value addition because first, they'll get access to their products. What they produce from the farm is what they'll consume finally. Another thing, we also have programs through value addition. We have partners whom through value addition we get support funds to do community projects. And in this case, again, when we get to the community projects through proceeds from these partners, the farmers or the community will benefit. When we build schools, we build dispensaries, like we have dispensaries funded by our donor and Sirech OEP. We have schools, and then we have other projects that we do for the farmers, all through value addition.
Quite an extensive extension over here in terms of agroforestry, right from tea farming and all that. Maybe as we wind up, what are some of the key challenges you have faced in the tea farming industry? We are talking of Nandi County. Let's give it credit. What are some challenges you have faced? Environmental.
Environmentally, sometimes we have hail damage to the farms, which reduces production. And then on the other side, we have what is challenging us is the cost of production, especially energy, labor, and then the serious challenge which we face, the entire tea industry is facing currently, is the low prices of tea we are getting currently in Mombasa auction.
Thank you so much. So that was just all about tea, not just tea, but the extensive program in terms of how farmers are moving all the way to not just growing tea here in their home ground, but shifting all the way to growing other products with assistance of such organizations and other companies. Well, Zainab, I know you're on the other side just to bring us a glimpse of what the exhibition centers have. I know there's a lot, but for now, back to you.
Hutatoboa. Kwa hivyo ukiangalia miguu ya watu huku wamevaa gumboot. Sasa tumetoka shambani, tumekuja kuona a different kind of exhibition, a different maonyesho ya aina tofauti. Sasa ukitoa mimea kule shambani, what else do you do with it? What else do you do with it? Besides cooking, what else do you do with it? And that's the conversation we are going to have next. And I'm joined by a lovely lady. I'll allow her first to tell us her name and what
Culture Organization of the United Nations. I work in the youth program where I support youth to make a livelihood in agribusiness.
Agribusiness, youth in agribusiness. So the perception that young people have when it comes to the agriculture value chain is to get rich. They just want to get rich and quickly as possible. Do you get this when you work with these young people?
Yes, I do. You find that the nature of the youth is that they want to make quick money. They are not patient. Therefore, even when we are supporting them in the agriculture value chains, we have to choose value chains that are shorter in the time period, maybe 2-3 months, for them to be able to see money. Because if it takes longer time, then they switch off. Yeah.
So what's happening here is some of the things that the young people are doing.
Yeah. So we have young people showcasing what they do. This is a youth group that supports, that is involved in the honey value chain, and they also support young people to embrace agribusiness. They are also supporting them in smart agriculture, so that is what they do.
Is it okay if I ask one of them a question?
Sure, please go ahead.
Mambo?
Poa sana.
Naitwa nani?
Naitwa Nathan Kikwai.
Nathan, kazi mnafanyia wapi?
So our organization inaitwa SMAX Foundation. It stands for Smart Mechanized Agriculture and Climate Action for Humanity and Sustainability. So we work mainly in the arid and semi-arid lands, whereby it covers 27 counties out of the 47 counties. So our main aim is to champion young people to join farming, because we believe once the young people join farming, we are able to create employment in the agricultural sector and also be able to feed our nation so that we can become food secure. So we have several initiatives. One of them is on beekeeping, the whole value chain. So we train the young people on beekeeping, right from the art of apiculture, how to make beehives, and then we are also able to offtake the honey that they produce. Also, we are able to work with other 4K club students in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture and Water, whereby we are able to support them by setting up model farms in schools, because we find that the ministry enables them to have 4K clubs for the young people where they learn theory, but where do they learn the practical part? Because tunaamini ukulima ni kufanya, apart from just learning in the class, so we provide that avenue for learning.
Inasemekana vijana mnaogopa sana agriculture na kilimo kwa sababu mnaona ni kazi chafu.
Ni ukweli, ukulima ni kazi chafu, lakini sio kazi chafu, ni kazi ya maana. Kwa sababu what we want to do ni kwamba ukulima lazima ikuwe na faida ndio uweze kufanya ukulima. Vijana wengi wanataka kupata pesa mfukoni, lakini tukiona ile ukulima iko sahihi, sio guaranteed that you will get the money. So how do you go about it? We go now the climate smart agriculture way for you to be able to adapt to the effects of the climate change that are there. So you find that also capital is a big issue. So how do you solve the issue of capital? How do you solve the issue of land? How do you solve the issue of market? So now we want to showcase the success stories of the people in the farming, the challenges they have faced, and also how do they overcome them. So atuogopi, ni tunatafuta solution ndio tuweze kuingia katika ukulima.
Sawa, asante sana. Asante sana. And this next display, this looks like black soldier flies.
Yeah, this is black soldier fly, youth that we were supporting in agribusiness. So they were basically involved in the livestock commercialization project where they farm BSF. BSF is used as animal feeds for pigs, chicken and fish, and they also get fertilizer that is called frass, and this young lady here makes around 50,000 shillings in profits. Yes.
This is per month?
Per month, yes, yes.
Habari yako?
Nzuri. Faith Amimo.
What do you do about the smell? Because you don't get this where there's where nothing is rotting, and where something is rotting, they smell. What do you do about the smell?
Well, basically there is no smell. There is no that bad smell because the black soldier flies, the larvae, they first feed on the bacteria that produces the smell. So there is no much smell. Yeah.
Na wewe ni kijana unafanya kazi ambayo inaonekana unaweza sema ni kazi chafu kwa sababu lazima utafute uchafu ndio wao black soldier fly waweze kula and to make the fertilizer. How do you get involved in agriculture? Why did you get involved in agriculture?
Because we are trying to meet the SDGs, the Vision 2030 goals, and this is what we are doing, and also for the climate action and saving our environment as well.
So how many flies do you have?
You can't count the flies. Yeah, but there are many. Yeah.
So, okay, maybe another question would be, how much fertilizer do you generate?
At least 300 bags every 2 weeks.
And what do you do with all of it?
We sell some, and some we use for our kitchen gardens. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you. So here, what is this?
So as FAO, we normally support the national government and county governments to develop strategies and policies. In this case, we've supported the national government to develop the Kenya Post-Harvest Management Strategy, which is going to be launched today. It's basically on food loss and waste production. So we also have flyers that we have prepared that show people how to recycle food at home, make it interesting. There's ugali nachos here as an ingredient. Do you know ugali nachos? Ugali nachos here, it's a way of how you can be able to recycle ugali, put cheese in it, tomato, onions, and avocado, and for sure, young children will love it. Yes, so it has various ingredients for recycling food at home. Yes.
Can I keep one?
Yeah, sure. Please have one.
Great, thank you.
And finally, we have a group here that comes from the refugee community in Kakuma. We support them to make a livelihood out of recycling. They normally take waste from abattoirs where they get bones and horns and this kind of bones to be able to make these candle stands. As you can see, it's very pretty. They also use this, they make wine glass from coconut shells, which they get in Kakuma. And also this, you can see this is a chains made out of bones. Yes, animal bones. They get from very fine markets as well to be able to sell their produce. We have office ornaments where you can be able to put your pens and all that, and we link them to market quality, ready for the market. Please make sure you promote them. We also have these that are made from bones as well. So we support them through acquiring machinery that is able to help them to be able to carve them out to this nature. So these are the products they have, which they sell to the market.
Okay. Habari zenu? Which one of you would like to speak? Okay.
Okay, fine. My name is and
other organizations who are also over here. We are just discussing the whole World Food Day at the exhibition side of this event at Kaimosi ATC. Definitely quite an interesting group of people I have over here. But first of all, we begin with the most important person over here. Who is the farmer? Baba, karibu sana kuzungumza na NTV. Labda tutakuuliza swali kama mkulima. Utaanza kwa majina na utuelezee mambo yamebadilika. Wewe ni mkulima wa aina gani na mambo yamebadilika? Labda changamoto gani unakumbana nazo kama mkulima?
Mimi ni kwa majina ni Nobert Tanui kutoka Kamoyo Kaptelwa. Mkulima wa ng'ombe na mahindi. Changamoto ambayo niko naye ni chakula cha ng'ombe. Kwa mahindi siku hizi mahindi haivi mzuri kwa sababu ni ugonjwa ambaye ilikuja 2014 imepunguza mazao na mazao ambayo tunapata kwa eka moja siku hizi ni gunia 10 ya kilo 90.
Labda kupunguka kwa mazao ya mahindi umekufanya ufikirie kufanya ukulima wa aina tofauti?
Ndio nimefikiria nifanye ukulima wa ng'ombe wa maziwa.
Na labda ukulima wa maziwa inakupeleka aje?
Bado iko changamoto kwa ukulima wa maziwa, maana tunatumia mahindi kulisha hiyo ng'ombe, na mazao ya mahindi imeenda chini sana.
Labda usaidizi upi unaweza utaka? Hii leo umekuja kwa hii exhibition, labda unatafuta usaidizi wa aina gani? Labda unatafuta usaidizi upi?
Nimekuja kutafuta usaidizi wa chakula cha ng'ombe ambaye itafanya ng'ombe itoe faida mingi kuliko ya siku hizi.
Asante sana. Labda tu let me just speak to a group of other stakeholders in the entire industry. Again, we are back to Nandi County, considering that Nandi County is a key producer in the country in terms of tea planting, the tea product itself. So maybe you, as the Tea Board of Kenya, you start with your name, then tell us what is your role in the entire agenda of tea planting, and also I'm so keen on understanding the benefits farmers are receiving from their whole activities in this event.
Thank you very much. My name is Kenya. We are very excited to join other agriculture stakeholders this year 2024 to celebrate the World Food Day, right to food for a better life and a better future. Tea contributes immensely to incomes of farmers in Nandi County and generally in the entire nation. And so is a greater contributor to food and nutrition security. We have farmers. We support more than 800,000 farmers, small scale across to middle and estate farmers. We also have people who have been employed by tea businesses, either on the farm, at the factories, or the tea trade enterprises. And the money they get from either the jobs or the employment, they are also able to sustain their livelihood in food. As the government regulator for tea, our mandate is threefold. We regulate, we develop, and we promote tea. We make sure that everyone engaged in tea farming is doing it in a sustainable way that will help them sustain the growing, but also get better produce, quality produce that will fetch higher prices. Okay. We also do training on quality and regulation on standards for tea, so that the tea that ends up in the market is accepted in terms of food and hygiene standards.
Okay, asante sana. So just maybe let me wind up, because there are key stakeholders in this event. You'll introduce yourself and tell us what is your role in this entire exhibition as an organization.
My name is Peter Kiprotich, Elgeyo Marakwet County. Exhibition today to explain to farmers the need of having good produce for the good health of the Kenyans, because the good health depends on the good food you consume. So for the betterment and the health of our Kenyan nation, we need to be secure in terms of food production. So we came to explain to farmers the need to produce quality food and food which assists the body to become healthy. And we came to explain to farmers the need of planting like pumpkin seeds, because pumpkins are good in terms of nutrition, in terms of family, and raising good children and healthy family and healthy nation depends on the production of quality feed. So with us, we normally encourage farmers to consume like the pumpkin seeds. Another thing is the hibiscus roselle, which assists the body to prevent something called the cancerous condition, because it is an antioxidant and it assists the body to build immunity and makes the body immune system goes high. So from Elgeyo Marakwet County, we tell farmers to produce quality food for their good health and their nutritional part of the healthy nation. Thank you.
Zainab, as you've heard it clearly, is that the fact that most of the farmers over here are doing diversification. Here right now, I was just talking to and also the pumpkins. So encouraging us to diversify, to have a wide variety of food. Maybe any other categories, because for me, in fact, as doing all this, I didn't expect to mention anything like pumpkin. I was so keen in other products like maize, other products like tea, because we're in Nandi. I've seen bananas. So how extensive does this go away from just pumpkin and hibiscus?
In nutrition, we go for the food that the body immune ability of body to fight other conditions. So we need to diversify to live a life which is health. And going for those food which assists to build the body defense system is very important. And that is why whenever we come to our health, food becomes very, very important. And that is why whenever encourage farmers to diversify so that they cannot be dependent on the old methods of farming only. We diversify to have variety of food which have high nutrition so that the body defense mechanism can be enhanced. And that is why you find our lives nowadays, most of the conditions we are suffering nowadays are majorly caused by what we call lifestyle condition as a result of what we normally consume on our day-to-day life. And that is why to inform farmers on the goodness of more variety of food and more nutritious food is very important.
Very important indeed to notify farmers on the importance of producing enough food for the country, just to minimize on the food security, Zainab. That's the message over here as we're talking of pumpkin and other varieties like banana, as also tea. I'm really learning a lot. And so for that, Zainab, maybe I should just hand over back to you. Show us what good is that from the other end. Oh, Zainab, just a minute. I think we've just been joined by the Kentech from the Ministry of the Republic of Kenya, just one of the key shareholders in this event. Maybe sir, you can introduce yourself and tell us how big is this event of the World Food Day and what is the mark we are creating for today?
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Seth Onyango, the Chief Executive Officer for Kenya Sese and Trypanosomiasis Eradication Council. In short, Kentech. Kentech has a mandate of coordinating eradication of sese flies and trypanosomiasis in Kenya. We take note that this is an African Heads of States decision that was made in the year 2000 in Lome, Togo, so that the problem and the burden of sese and trypanosomiasis that it causes to the pastoral livelihoods in Africa is eradicated once and for all. In terms of the losses that the problem of sese flies brings in the Republic of Kenya, it is a loss of, it is estimated, the losses are estimated at 20 billion Kenya shillings per year. And this come in terms of abortions that take place in our cattle, in terms of loss of milk production, and generally loss of body weight. Getting back to your question, how big is this day for us and even for the pastoral communities of Kenya? It is a day, if you draw from the theme of the World Food Day today, right to food and a better future. Kentech is one of those food security state corporations that are within the Ministry of Agriculture, particularly hosted within the State Department for Livestock. We contribute to this because, as you are all aware, agriculture is a priority in this government, the Kenya Kwanza administration, whereby 3 value chains have been prioritized. The first one being dairy, second being beef, and the third one being leather. So if I take it to dairy and beef, our contribution, we suppress the disease. The animals that come out of it, we now get bigger animals that can put more money into the pockets of our farmers.
Thank you so much, sir. Asante sana. So that is Zainab. You've heard it all from the Kentech and the value addition and the importance of keeping our livestock and other animals very healthy, just to put more money in the pockets of our farmers, just right from the government. For now, Zainab, maybe you can help me explore the other side of the exhibition.
Well, if you're a farmer, the World Food Day or any farmer field day is something you need to attend because of the wealth of knowledge that you learn. I'm not a farmer myself, but I'm learning a lot. And all the activity you see around me, these are all farmers and school children moving from 10 to 10, from exhibition to exhibition, seeking to acquire knowledge, seeking to buy a seed or two, because some of the displays include information where you can purchase a seed if you've seen something and you like it. So I'm now joined by a lady who's going to tell us who she is and what she does. Hi.
Hello.
Tell me your name and what you do.
My name is Helen Wangoi. I'm the country manager for Solidaridad East and Central Africa for Kenya.
So tell me about your role in food security at Solidaridad.
Yeah, we are well aligned in the theme for this year, especially because it is focusing on rights to food, and we support farmers especially to increase their production by training them on good agricultural practices, like use of vermicomposting that ensures that the soil health is well improved. This improved productivity as well and reduces the soil pH. We also support the farmers in working with implementing and planting varieties that are resistant to climate changes, such as also in coffee. We encourage the farmers to use Batian as well as Roiro 11 varieties.
You mentioned vermicomposting. Is that the display over there?
Yes.
Can you tell me, we can walk to it as you tell me a little bit about it?
Thank you. So this is the vermicomposting. We use vermi worms to ensure that we come up with this compost that ensures that it increases the moisture of the soil as well as increases the productivity of the value chains that we work with the farmers. We train the farmers to produce this as well as the vermicompost juice that we also apply to the farm. Yeah.
So how do you apply the vermicompost?
So it is applied on the soil, of course, around the plants where you have planted the food crops and vegetables.
Do these worms also work when there's chemicals in that farm? For example, you've sprayed a herbicide, you've sprayed a pesticide, you've applied fertilizer. Do they still work?
So when you apply herbicides, it will not work. So we encourage the farmers to go organic to ensure that we do not apply herbicides on the soil, and so that we have the vermicomposting worms survive as well.
So this works particularly with organic farming. Yes. And these worms, these are the earthworms?
Yes, these are the vermiworms, the red ones there.
So for you to be adding worms into the soil means there's a problem, because these worms are supposed to be in the soil naturally. What are the things that are driving this problem to make these worms absent from the soils?
Yes, so the use of herbicides especially, and some of the fertilizers that we are applying on the soil will make sure that the worms do not survive. So that's why we are introducing the organic way of farming. And the way we introduce this training to the farmers is we use the TOT model, trainer of trainers model. He's one of our trainers on the ground as well. And we also have our boots and brains on the ground. These are our agronomists who we train so well to ensure that even as they interact with the farmers, they are well aligned with what is the issues and how they can help the farmers.
So do you think organic farming can feed the world?
Yes, it can feed the world for sure, because it ensures that there is increased production across the various agricultural value chains, be it vegetables, be it maize especially also, and also coffee. And you know what we do with the farmers also is to train them on value addition for their production. For example, we have coffee there. We work with the farmers, especially women and youth, to ensure there is value addition for our products like coffee. We also help the farmers to access markets, and this helps them to ensure they increase their sales, and they can also scale their production as well.
You mentioned one of your core mandates is to increase productivity, and there are so many partners, so many organizations working towards this same goal, yet the farmers' productivity problem.
Okay, so what I would say we can improve on, even on the organizations that we work with the farmers, is to ensure we have the right models on the ground to interact also with the government, the county governments, because they also have extension officers who can guide you through where you need to work with the farmers, the right, and agronomists as well, the ones we have, the right commodities or products or the value chains that you should focus on depending on the area and also the region that you are implementing in. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And now the thing about these exhibitions is that there's been a lot of focus on soil health, and one of the reasons for that is that research has shown that Kenya's soils are very unhealthy and acidic. More than 50% of the soils in the country are acidic, and this is mostly because of unsustainable farming practices. Hence the reason this time around World Food Day focuses on ways to improve agricultural productivity sustainably while paying attention to the soil health. Now we're going to speak to somebody else here. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon. Hi.
What is your name and what do you do?
I'm Alphonse Bolo. I work for Cereal Growers Association, supporting Farm to Market Alliance project that is being supported by World Food Program. So what we have here today, looking at the theme of the day, a lot of innovations that we do to support smallholder farmers within the counties that we implement. For today, majorly what we are trying to do is to showcase of, if you can see, what we have is on food nutrition.
I'd actually like to start here. I see it says groundnut picker. This means unaipeleka kwa shamba wakati unataka kuvuna njugu na unaakisha machine.
Yes, what we do majorly to ease the work, because majorly our main focus is to increase productivity from smallholder farmers. But then we have such kind of innovations to help farmers. Once you produce for markets, the major thing you need to do is how effective and convenient are you able to support farmers to do harvest. So you harvest groundnuts. This is the picker for the groundnuts. You only pull the groundnuts, you push it in, it will be able to not to shell, but to remove it.
Separates the...
Separation. So that is what this does. This is the first tank that you need to have. So from this machine, once you've done the separation, then now you do the shelling, where we have the groundnut sheller. So it makes the work of the farmers a little bit easier when you are talking about the shelling. So the work of the farmers, we've been easing, and they're able to reach out demand. What this thing also does is on handling the post-harvest management. We have reduced the cracks of the groundnuts. We've reduced also the time frame that we need to, from the shamba, picking up, shelling, then you store for the market. So that is what we do. It's quite good when you have this for the smallholder farmers with affordable prices that we give to farmers.
So you've touched a little bit on the question I was going to ask you next, because if you talk to smallholder farmers, they'll tell you, si ati hawataki technology, ni juu hawezi afford. Na wakati mwingi mtu akikuja na hiyo innovation, amekuja na technology, bei ya kwanza nayo inakuwa mkulima mdogo mwenye labda kuna shamba nusu eka hawezi afford. So vitu kama financing mnasaidia aje wakulima?
Sana sana as Farm to Market Alliance being supported by World Food Program, what we do, we link farmers to financial institutions. And once we link the farmers with financial institutions, we ensure that the farmers are able to access the finance for the production. That's the first thing that we do. And looking at it, because we do end-to-end, we start from productivity, but the first thing we look at is the market. What is the market demand? So once we create the market demand, it is easier for us to produce what market needs. But on the finance, we link the farmers to the market. We're also using a model of VSLA, where farmers are grouped. Then from there, they're doing what is called table banking. They get the finances. At the moment, we are working closely with the number of financial institutions. We work with NCA Bank, we work with Equity Bank, we work with more of the community-based organized for smallholder farmers. What they're able to afford, where they're able to keep their money, and at the same time do their shares. So that is what we do majorly as Farm to Market Alliance under World Food Program.
Unfortunately, I have to cross over to the main event because the main event has started.
As you do that, Farm to World Food Program has a number of projects that they support with other organizations, other institutions. We call them the implementing partners. So Farm to Market Alliance is being implemented by Cereal Growers Association, and we have another one that's being supported by AMPATH, AMPATH being supported by World Food Program. Then we have World Food Program also showcasing nutrition for the community. That's what supports the community on nutrition. So that is what we do in this tent as World Food Program team. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So there's a lot of activities still happening. So, but for now, I'd like to just pause these exhibitions with the farmers and the experts and just take a little bit, take a look into what's happening in the main tent. So in the tent there, the dignitaries are there, include the Minister for Agriculture, Mr. Andrew Karanja, his PS Kiprono Rono, Dr. Paul Kiprono Rono, as well as the Governor of Nandi County and the Country Director of IFAD, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, are some of the dignitaries who are here today. Mr. Felix Koskei, who had been expected, did not come. And farmers are still streaming in, school children are still streaming in to learn more about sustainable farming technologies and how to produce food in the face of climate change. It has been a very rainy last couple of days, so there's mud everywhere. So if you're planning on coming down here, you have to wear gumboots. And I think the event in the main tent is now ready, so let's listen in.
I am sure if you've gone around the exhibition booths, you've also come across something to eat, because this is the day to celebrate eating, World Food Day. And in line with the theme of this year for the World Food Day, the right to food, it is the duty of each and every one of us, whether you are privileged or not, to ensure that your neighbor or the children at home or anyone you meet in the street, they have right to food. They have to eat, and not just to eat any food, but nutritious food. So on behalf of the fraternity of the agriculture in Nandi, that includes the farmers here in Nandi, hardworking farmers, on behalf of our agriculture team at the county government, the extension officers, and the Kaimosi team that is working very hard to also support our farmers with new technologies and information in the sector. We welcome you to Nandi and feel at home. Learn something before you leave this place. I am sure if you go around, you'll find something that will excite you or will make you change your perception or your thinking. We want to appreciate all our partners who have supported us to make sure that this day has become successful. And I think with all those remarks, we will still get to know more about Nandi as we interact and as you get to know what Nandi is blessed with. Thank you so much.
Asante, pigeni waziri makofi. Anayefuata ni Biovision. Sorry. Biovision Bwana David Amudavi. I hope I pronounced well. David, karibu. Biovision. Karibu, mpigeni makofi anapokaribia. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Venantia Wambua. I'll be doing the speech on behalf of our Executive Director, Dr. Amudavi. To the chief guest, Bwana CS, Dr. Andrew Karanja, Governor, Stephen Sang, the CEC, Kiplimo Langat, our dignitaries, stakeholders, strategic partners, FAO, IFAD, World Food Program, our dear farmers from Nandi County and the rest of the counties. Good afternoon. Today we gather here at Kaimosi Agricultural Training Center to observe World Food Day 2024. And the theme for this World Food Day is right to foods, for a better life and a better future. Leave no one behind. And as we reflect on the state of our food systems here in Kenya and Africa, we recognize that we face various challenges like climate change, shrinking agricultural and environmental resources, rising and sporadic food prices, and persistent hunger. And it is increasingly very clear that our current food production methods are unsustainable for long term. But together we have the power to transform our food systems for the better and create a future where no one is left behind. And for us in BioVision Africa Trust, we are embracing agroecology and organic agriculture farming practices, which is one of the solutions proven to increase food security and nutrition while sustaining the environment. Actually, agroecology, in simple terms, is farming with nature. And this World Food Days theme resonates with our vision, where our vision is actually a food-secure African continent with healthy people living in a healthy environment. And Bwana Waziri, BioVision Africa Trust and the governor, we are working in 12 counties here in Kenya, working with the smallholder farmers, promoting agroecology and organic agriculture practices. And we have been in this area of agroecology for over 12 years now. And we have reached more than 29 million people across 9 African countries. We work here in Kenya and beyond Kenya. So for us, on this World Food Day, we urge all of you to reflect on how your food choices impact not only on your health, but also the well-being of our communities and our environment. Because together, we can actually advocate for policies that prioritize food security, food diversity, food safety, and that ensure that no one in Kenya is left behind. So as we live here today, let us commit to working together, our farmers, our policymakers, consumers, and development partners, so that we can create an agri-food system that is just, sustainable, and resilient. And by doing so, we will secure a brighter, more equitable future for all Kenyans. So thank you for your presence today and for your dedication to making a positive change. And together, we can build a Kenya where food security, sustainability, and the right to food go hand in hand. Thank you very much. And as I leave the platform, we are organizing the second Eastern Africa Agroecology Conference, Bwana Waziri, and we'll be approaching you very soon. We have already started discussing with your office so that you can grace this event next year in March 2025. This will be the second Eastern Africa Agroecology Conference that brings together various stakeholders from the Eastern Africa and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Asante. Next, we have Madam Kamara from IFAD. Karibu, pigeni makofi anapopanda kwa jukwaa. I think we should teach a bit of Kiswahili, eh? Karibu is welcome. Welcome.
I actually speak it at night. Thank you very much, Madam, for those introductions. But just to remind everyone that I speak Swahili, but I speak it at night. So if you want us to discuss Swahili, you have to call me at night. During the day, I only speak English. Our chief guest, Cabinet Secretary, His Excellency the Governor, and the PS for Agriculture, my good friend, please allow me to stand on existing protocols. Ladies and gentlemen, achieving zero hunger by 2030 is a daunting challenge. Projections show that almost 600 million people will be chronically undernourished by 2030. World Food Day is dedicated to tackling one of the most critical issues of our era, food security. As we gather here, it is essential to remember that everyone has a role in building a future where the right to food is universally enjoyed. We have a collective responsibility, but we also have a personal responsibility and individual responsibilities. I'm stressing on the word individual because many a times we say it's government's responsibility, it's IFAD's responsibility, it's FAO, it's WFP. No, it's all of us our responsibility. So we need to take it as an individual responsibility. Then collectively we will deliver. Estimates suggest that we need around 300 billion to 400 billion annually from now up to 2030 to end hunger. That's a lot of money. According to the latest reports on the states of the food security 2024, countries with the highest level of food insecurity and multiple forms of malnutrition are affected by the major drivers of these problems are the countries with the least access of financing. Meanwhile, the right to access to sufficient and quality food is in every country's constitution. It's in our constitution. But how many people know under which article this is? When we talk to lawyers, as I was saying this morning to some people, when we talk to lawyers, they reference, according to article this of the constitution, section this, we cannot do this to the president, we cannot do this. But how many of us know the section in the constitution where we have this enshrined? We need to take this as a personal responsibility to know that, so we can be referencing it when we talk to our policymakers. Because this is in our constitution, this creates a human right-based foundation for addressing food security in Kenya. The concept of the right to food includes 5 key aspects: food availability, access, safety, nutritional value, and sustainability. I'm stressing on the word sustainability because we need not only provide food for ourselves now, but we need to look at the future for our children. Transforming these systems is critical for the health of our planet and its inhabitants, particularly our farmers. In our interconnected world, guaranteeing universal access to nutritious, diverse, safe, and sustainable food is vital for creating a better life and future for everyone. We must support farmers to make healthy food choices, reducing food waste, caring for natural resources, and taking compassionate actions. These responsibilities are shared among governments, the private sector, farmers, scientists, NGOs, and individuals. Engaging young people in the cause is also important. On this World Food Day, Mr. CS, Mr. Governor, I want to reaffirm IFAD's commitment to this cause. And I want to pledge that we will support Kenya and its people in fighting the fight against hunger. For me, this is a personal journey. Because first of all, as an African woman, I know that when our children go to bed hungry, the first people they cry to are mothers. Therefore, for me, this is a personal journey. So I call on all the women here to join hands in the fight against hunger and to work with our governments to make sure that our voices are heard in all the policies so that we create a better future for our children. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Makofi kwake. Asante sana, Madam Kamara. Atakayefuata ni Mr. Sanko from the World Food Program. Welcome. Welcome. A round of applause for him. Asante. We should tell you karibu, eh? Karibu, karibu sana.
Dr. Andrew Karanja, the CS Ministry of Agriculture. His Excellency Stephen Son, the Governor for Nandi, county representatives, members of the media, colleagues from the United Nations, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm good afternoon from the beautiful Nadi County. Let me first begin by expressing my gratitude to the Cabinet Secretary, the Minister of Agriculture, for his unwavering commitment to tackle hunger and promoting agricultural and rural development. Ladies and gentlemen, the seats that the CS sits, it's not an easy seat. It is a seat that defines each one of us here when we get up in the morning and when we go to bed and sleep, whether we will have food in the table. Let me also like to extend our sincere appreciation to the Governor and his team for graciously hosting us and organizing an outstanding World Food Day. It shows how you take food security for the lives of your people. Thank you so much. Here in Nadi County, we have seen various displays today at the exhibition stand and on the farm demonstration. There's one message that rings in my mind, that we can do it, that we can feed ourselves. And not only feed ourselves, but we can produce more and be able to export and get income. When I reflect on the theme of World Food Day today, there are two words that come into my mind: better life and better future. These words are the core for each and every one of us here today in what we stand for. And this is what we pray for our children, for a better life. Without a doubt, one of the biggest threats of the right to child is the change in climate. But amidst all these challenges, we need to ensure that food in the hands of every Kenyan is very, very important. CS, the World Food Program is working alongside the government and other partners to level the playing field. WFP is committed to work with the government of Kenya to ensure that no one goes to bed hungry, because that is what we all deserve. As we celebrate this day today, it provides us an opportunity not only to look back, but to look forward. How we can embrace our farmers, especially the smallholder farmers who make the change in our own lives. With these few words, I would like to thank everyone again and know that food is not just a matter of right or a matter of survival, but it's a matter of dignity. If you can provide food for yourself, you're dignified. Thank you all again. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanko. I now welcome Miss Williams from the Food Agricultural Organization. Is our neighbor here. Miss will tell us, when ni jirani yetu, si ni kweli? Karibu sana, karibu.
Thank you so much, Sisi. Sisi for Nandi County. To our chief guest of the day, the Cabinet Secretary from Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Production, Dr. Andrew Karanja, to our peers in the Ministry of Agriculture, State Department of Agriculture, Dr. Paul Rono, the Governor of Nandi County, His Excellency Stephen Sang, the representative of the Head of Public Service, Madam Leah Kasera, my former colleague, and also the DG Kaimosi, who has welcomed us to Kaimosi, Bonakashile, development partners, especially my sister and my brother, the RBAs from the UN, that is AFAD, Madam Kamara, and Sanko representing WFP. Allow me also to recognize the DG Dairy Board for your presence here, and the farmers, whom to me are the chief guests of the day. Good afternoon. Let me first start our chief guest by welcoming people to the World Food Day. We've been welcomed to Nandi County, but I want to welcome everyone and all Kenyans to the World Food Day celebration 2024. Having said that, allow me to recognize the work that has been done leading to this day today. We had a very short time to do this year in Nandi County. And chief guest, it cannot go unnoticed that the support, the collaboration that we got first from the Ministry of Agriculture, the committee there, now from the Nandi County, and also OP, cannot go unnoticed. We really thank you for the work well done. Actually, to the entire committee, please allow me to request we give them a round of applause, because we would not have been here if it were not for the work done by the committee. Our chief guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations is a specialized UN agency that leads international efforts to defeat hunger. With a goal to achieve food security for all, FAO takes lead in the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals, especially goal number 1, end poverty, and goal number 2, zero hunger. And in line with this mandate, FAO leads the world in marking the World Food Day globally. This is a day that traditionally marked on 16th of October every year, which also happens to be the birthday of FAO as an agency of the United Nations. So everyone, please tell me happy birthday on behalf of FAO. Thank you so much. Being also the birthday of FAO, this day 3 years ago, chief guest, was expanded by our Director General to be named World Food Forum that is celebrated on every 16th annually in Rome. And global leaders always attend this day, and they discuss investments in agriculture in countries. Our chief guest, it cannot go unnoticed that you have your peers for livestock development in Rome as we talk, doing the same. And the conversations there are going well, and we laud you and we appreciate the support that we got there. Now, this year's global ceremony just took place in Rome, as I said, with the participants underlining the need for universal access to enough diverse, nutritious, affordable, and safe foods through the 4 betters, which is better production, better nutrition, better environment, and eventually better life. The event comes amid growing global tensions and conflicts and climate shocks, which are among factors contributing to the challenge of hundreds of millions of people worldwide facing hunger and billions being unable to afford healthy diets. To be specific, chief guests and everyone in the room, globally, about 730 million people are facing hunger today, while more than 2.8 billion people are unable to afford healthy diets. That is about 1 in every 11 people in the world. But right here in Africa, it is about 1 in every 5 people. So this is a wake-up call. We have our work cut out for us, for those who are in the sector of agriculture. There is no time to waste. we must take immediate action, not as a nice thing, but as a must do. The 3 days celebration in Rome were marked by world leaders. And I just want to highlight what they said yesterday, just the 3 of them. The UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, said, he made it more blunt, that something is very wrong with a world in which hunger and malnutrition are a fact of life for billions of children, women, and men. He said that a zero hunger world is possible, but food systems need massive transformation to become more efficient, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. And on that note, I might recognize CS, that our Excellency the President heeded to the call of the UN on food systems transformation and appointed the CS Ministry of Agriculture as the convener for food systems transformation. We just went through the first stocktake, and we are gearing for the second stocktake that will take place sometime next year. And I want to say that Kenya is on the right road with the 5 pathways, one of which is healthy diet. Our FAO Director General during the day indicated described this year's World Food Day theme, right to food for better life and better future. He described it as a timely reminder that all people have the right to adequate foods. He called for renewed commitment to build more efficient, more inclusive, more resilient, and more sustainable agri-food system that can nourish the world. Pope Francis, that spoke in that function, on his part, reminded us that the intrinsic social and cultural dimension of the act of nourishment must not be forgotten. In this respect, political and economic decision makers at all levels must listen to the demands of those at the bottom of the food chain, such as small-scale farmers, and of intermediate social groups, such as the family who are directly involved in feeding people. Ladies and gentlemen, no one identifies with this particular assertion than our very own President, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, who in his statement during the last Madaraka Day celebration said, and I quote, that we appreciate the determination of small-scale farmers who are the backbone of Kenya's agricultural sector in their efforts to produce sufficient and varied food to meet their nutritional, health, and other daily needs. Against many odds, our farmers have defied systemic and structural constraints and limitations to make a contribution to household and national food security requirements and to propel the economy. We understand, cherish, and value them. Now, with those statements, you can see that globally, regionally, and right here at home, there is the recognition of the role of the small-scale farmers. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is also in tandem with the role of institutions like Kaimosi, where we are right here today. It is a tough war, but again, it can be done. Having said that, allow me to highlight that the sector challenges remain alive. Some of them are surmountable, but some of them, like climate change, are annoyingly persistent due to their metamorphosis nature. Here in Kenya, we have experienced several adverse effects ranging from drought, desert locust, the emergence of crop and animal diseases, pests, to floods. These are hurdles that we must strive to overcome to achieve food and nutrition security. Towards this, FAO is working with the national and county governments to build resilience of farmers to these climate-instigated challenges. Among these measures is the promotion of climate-smart agriculture and integration of digitalization into our agricultural practices in line with the ASTGS. With the Ministry of Agriculture, we are supporting the Kenya Integrated Agriculture Management Information System, otherwise known as KIAMIS, and its modules with funds from Sweden. While in the Ministry of Lands, our chief guest, we are supporting the National Land Information Management System through EU funds. This is under a digital land governance a project that by now has already installed GIS laboratories in over 35 counties and also at the COG headquarters. And I'm sure you're already invited for the launch of this coming on 30th this month. Besides that, the project is modernizing the land registries. That has happened also here in Nandi, and the governor can confirm. It is also empowering women on their right to own and use land. The project also supports alternative justice system, which is already showing positive outcomes on cases that have lagged in courts for over 30 years. And give you a quick example of a case in Kajiado where this old lady had 100 acres but was not able to use it because the case had been dragging in courts. Working with the judiciary, creating the AJS, which was supported by FAO, this case was determined. The lady got her land as it's now producing. Within a record time, it took the AJS committee 14 days for a case that had lasted in courts for 30 years. The challenge remains around the areas of mining and utilizing data safely and responsibly. It is our hope that the data governance framework, whose development has also been heavily supported by FAO, will help to sanitize this area and allow for maximum utilization of data that will eventually help us to make decisions that are based on facts. CS, you're aware we are launching this data governance today. It's a road we are very proud of, and the Ministry of Agriculture and the guidance we've gotten from the PS office. Here in Nandi County, the GIS laboratory is in place, and the governor can confirm. The farmer registration smoothly undertaken, and the CEC can confirm. We just launched a $10 million EU funded project known as Boosting Sustainable Food Production in Kenya. Our chief guest, you saw this particular project, which is being implemented together with IFAD and FAO. This project will also be implemented in Bungoma, Kakamega, Migori, Homa Bay counties. The project's goal is to boost sustainable food production through promotion of agroecological practices and enhance access to subsidized agricultural inputs, technologies, and services that is targeting 40,000 farmers in the 5 counties. The biggest challenge to food production still remains post-harvest losses. Working with the Ministry of Agriculture and also the Ministry of Health, FAO has supported development of the post-harvest management strategy for food loss and waste reduction, also aligned for the launch this afternoon. To be specific, on Nandi County and its environ, I'm delighted to report the good news that FAO has, 1, secured funds, $4.5 million from Germany, to support restoration of forest in Nandi, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Baringo County. Secondly, we just launched the $5.4 million JEF7, which is the Global Environmental Fund for Mount Elgon Landscape Restoration project that is in Bungoma and Trans Nzoia County, but there is an appendage that the neighboring countries will benefit from the flow of these funds on a rippling effect. So you are aligned to benefit from this. We've also secured the GCF board slot for the $50 million climate change adaptation and mitigation project to be implemented in all the 14 LREB counties, that is the Lake Region Economic Bloc counties, beginning February 2025 after successful defense. And on this, allow me, Chief Guest, to recognize the Governor Nandi County and all your 14 colleagues. I remember the negotiations we did, the meetings in Kisumu, the meetings in Kericho, that eventually got us the approvals, and the National Treasury's also commitment. This is how the GCF was able to say FAO is able to implement. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, and in perpetuation of Article 43 of our Constitution, allow me to make a clarion call to our government to strive to integrate the right to food across agri-food system policies and programs to ensure equal access to adequate and diverse range of nutritious, safe, and affordable foods. We all need to play a role in building a future where everyone can enjoy right to food by challenging inequalities speaking up against hunger and engaging decision makers, making healthy food choices, reducing food waste, caring for natural resources, and being compassionate in our actions. We can all be change makers. And finally, I leave you with a quote to remember the World Food Day today. One cannot think well, love well, sleep well, if one has not dined well. Thank you.
Round of applause for our neighbor, Hamis Williams. Makofi mzuri ama mmechoka? Asante sana, asante. Our chief guest, I think the governor must have whispered to you that or maybe you are aware that the chair of the board of Kaimosi is none other than the head of public service. So najua governor huwa anaringa anasema is the only governor who appointed a head of public service to be the chair, and he gracefully agreed to chair for us this very important institution. You are aware that he was to join you in this function, but some urgent matters came up, and therefore he has instructed that a speech which he was to read be read by the manager, Dr. Kachile. So chief guest, allow us to have the speech read. Thank you. Karibu Daktari.
Nandi, our great friend. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's already afternoon. My name is Dr. Kachile Levy. I'm the director of Kaimosi Agricultural Training Center. It's a privilege. I'm going to read the speech of our chairman, Honorable Felix Koskei. Dr. Andrew Karanja, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock. His Excellency Stephen Sang, Governor Nandi, Principal Secretary Rono, Ms. Tipo, FA Country Representative, WFB, IVAD, Bioofficial and the UN family, the County Commissioner of Nandi, senior government and county official, the host, Kaimosi ATC, all collaborators, farmers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Board of Directors, it's my pleasure to welcome you to Kaimosi Agricultural Training Center and the World Food Day 2024 celebration. Organizing an event of this magnitude is no mean achievement. May I therefore take this opportunity to thank the Governor of Nandi for hosting, planning, and coordinating this event. May I also thank the development partners led by FAO, the National Government, County Organizing Committees, all the stakeholders who have committed their time and resources to ensure the success of this event. As many of you know, Kaimosi is strategically situated at the intersection of Nandi, Vihiga, and Kakamega counties, serving as a crucial hub for the Western region, Nyanza, and Rift Valley. This year's World Food Day, with the theme of Right to Food for Better Life and Better Future, serves as a vital reminder that every individual has the right to sufficient food. It emphasizes our collective responsibility to create agri-food systems that are efficient, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. This theme resonates deeply with the Kaimosi's role as the host of today's event. Given its reputation for agriculture prosperity, particularly in tea farming, the region is surrounded by flourishing tea plantation and other agricultural commodities that's well recognized across the country. It also in the intersect of Kaimosi, which translates to the sacred forest where the wicked dare to tread. Ladies and gentlemen, Kaimosi ATC takes the pride in offering practical training for farmers and extension officers dedicated to transforming the agricultural landscape. Through education and innovation, Our experienced professionals are committed sharing their expertise to uplift our farming communities. Recently, Kaimosi has become the beacon for inspiring farmers, agricultural interests with the motto, learn by doing. Whether you are an experienced farmer, a farm manager, a young individual aspiring to enter agricultural business, our center provides invaluable learning opportunities. We feature demonstration farms that showcase variety of practices, include the mushroom cultivation, beekeeping, coffee, tea plantation, fruit tree, and all the enterprises that I'm sure for today you have visited. Currently, we have a dedicated team of 40 staff, which are technical, and 60 casuals. This center offers enterprises programs that practical courses in crop and all these agricultural lineage is entitled. Ladies and gentlemen, education is crucial for farmers, and yet farm managers, extension workers with the necessary skills for success for our farms. However, we are witnessing a growing interest in farm managerial skills, particularly amongst smallholder farmers who are increasingly market-oriented and eager to improve their profit. And this is what we offer in Kaimosi. Ladies and gentlemen, the day of 2024 celebration, organizing an annual event of this magnitude brings us all together. The government blueprint clearly deliberated takes transformation path focus on the bottom-up approach that clearly encompasses the smallholder farmers who form the bulk of the Kenyan population as here today. Our task is to ensure that all partners of goodwill, private and public, to share in our vision and live with us together in this journey. In this regard, we will soon be holding a stockholders conversation to outline our plan as we call for your support. I invite development partners and the private sector representative to join us in this journey as we transform Kaimosi. Thank you so much.
Sana. Makofi mazuri ya chairman. Thank you very much. The chief guest. Before I invite His Excellency the Governor, I want to introduce officers from national government who are here, starting with the Sub-County Security Committee, led by the DCC, Asjilo Afet, DCC Nandi Central, constituency name Gwen, but Sub-County Nandi Central. We have the officer from DCI, officer from KWS, and officer from Administration Police, Asanteni. Also the County Security Committee members. This is Ndaimoi, the County Administration Police Commander. This is Njogu. Njogu is a County Police Commander. This is Tuwei, the Prisons Commander. This is Ogola, the County Criminal Investigation Officer. And we have Kerengo, who is a County Conservator. Asanteni sana. Our chiefs are around, and as you know, chief guest, we partner with the Minister of Agriculture, especially when we started the program of registration of farmers. And I want to report to you that Nandi County, we were given a target and we surpassed by 103%. So we partner so well with the Minister of Agriculture, and as usual, following the one government approach, if there is any program which needs to be implemented, the national government administrators will be handy to assist all the government ministries. As I finish, let me now welcome our Deputy Governor, Yulita Mitei, to come and greet us, say a word, and invite the governor. Pigeni DG makofi anapofika kwa jukwaa. Najua mungekuwa huko kwetu Ukambani na ni mama kama huyu, tunapiga ile li. Asante, karibu Madam DG.
Asante sana, Madam County Commissioner, our guest of honor, sir, our PS, Your Excellency Governor Stephen Sang of the great people of Nandi, distinguished guests, our farmers, our children, our pupils, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon again. Guest of honor, sir, allow me to recognize the board of Kaimosi ATC that have hosted us in this place. I'll ask them to be upstanding. The board members of Kaimosi ATC, kindly be upstanding. Thank you very much. Allow me also, thank you, be seated. Allow me to recognize the staff of the county government of Nandi who are in this gathering. Kindly be upstanding. Karibuni sana, asante sana for making time so that we can receive our guests together. Allow me, guest of honor, sir, again, to welcome, to recognize the members of the County Assembly of Nandi County. We have the chair of the Committee of Agriculture. I think he stepped out, but we have the area. Oh yes, please come and say a word kindly. Then we have the area MCA. The area MCA, Mheshimiwa Kirongo. Thank you.
Okay, mgeni wetu wa heshima ya siku ya leo, Excellency Governor, wakedi waheshimiwa, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, kwa majina mimi naitwa Julius Arusei Kipkoskei kutoka Lilmokwa Ngechek, pia mimi ni chairman agriculture. Na tumekuja with our team. Pia sina mengi ya wacha tu wasimame mahali waliko. Waseme majina, please.
Sema tu. Sema majina yao.
Okay, pale ni Mheshimiwa Milka Chumba, nominated MCA. Mheshimiwa Esther Ruto. Kule ni Mheshimiwa Salma. Pia Mheshimiwa Ngarisha. And our DS Mheshimiwa Sang. Na pia tuko na area MCA, mimi nafikiria yatapata nafasi. Asanteni sana, karibu Nandi. Kongoi.
Asante sana. Tumkaribishe area MCA atukaribishe mahali hapa. Mheshimiwa Kirongo.
Thank you, our Deputy Governor. Mgeni wetu wa heshima ambaye ni CS, our PS Governor wetu, all protocol observed. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sina mengi ya kusema. I'm the area MCA. I'm the local area MCA. So nasema karibu nyumbani, karibu Nandi, and aswa karibu Kapkangani. I'm happy. I'm the most happiest person, to have hosted as an area MCA, co-host CS Marambili in a duration of about almost 1 year. The other time Linturi was here. Sasa tuko na CS hapa tena na PS. As our area MCA, mimi nasema on behalf of this community, ambaye it is a cosmopolitan, ninasema karibu sana. With the other partners, FAO and others, mimi najua niko na tip kidogo ya mambo ambayo yanaendelea hapa. I'm very much grateful, Governor wetu and my chairman in absentia, Felix Kosgei. So sitaki kusema mengi. I know kuna mengi mazuri yanaendelea hapa. As an area MCA, najua the local community, they will benefit a lot. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Asante sana area MCA kwa kutukaribisha. Guest of honor, sir. My name is Dr. Yulita Mitei Cheruiyot, the Deputy Governor of the people of Nandi. And today marks a very significant day for us in this part of the world, even as this is a global celebration, this is a national celebration that is hosted here. For us in Nandi, it is particularly critical for us to talk about food. When we came into office in the year 2017-18, His Excellency Governor Sang and myself was confronted with a nutritional data report that painted a very dire situation in our county. It is at that point that we realized that we had hidden hunger, and that even though Nandi is recognized as a green county, malnutrition was still a challenge. And led by His Excellency Governor Sang and the team from Health, we have been able to do a lot of sensitization, a lot of nutrition education, and that figure has been reversed. We came from a figure of 29.9% stunted growth to 15% as we speak. And we know that nutrition has an impact on health outcomes. So today we also can sit back and say we thank God for the decisions that we have taken over time in educating our people on matters nutrition and ensuring that we are having a multi-sectoral approach, so that we are not only looking at health, we're looking at agriculture that is involved in production. And today, as we look about securing our future, securing our health, securing our food supply systems, this could not have come at a better time. On behalf of the people of Nandi, allow me to say Karibu to Nandi. We are excited with the partnership that we have received with the Ministry of Agriculture and all the partners that have come. I know His Excellency the Governor Sang will recognize you individually, but we are grateful. Thank you. Karibuni Nandi tena. We are raring to go. In Nandi, we can do any kind of production. We produce food, we produce livestock, we even produce herbs. And there is a lot of room for us to enhance our production in all those sectors. Your Excellency, Governor Sang, thank you very much for, through your leadership, we are transforming this center to become an area for us to bring farmers together for purposes of sharing agricultural education. I believe that with your leadership, this place is going to grow bigger and bigger. What we are witnessing this time is bigger than what we saw last year. And we know also that courtesy of the strategic direction from yourself and cabinet, this is going to continue hosting our shows our agricultural expos and all manner of opportunities for sharing agricultural knowledge. We want to thank you as you lead us as the people of Nandi County. Our chief guest, sir, allow me to invite my boss, Governor Stephen Sang, to come and make his remarks and welcome you to address this gathering. Karibu, sir.
Tumpigie makofi Mheshimiwa Yulita tafadhali, tumpigie makofi Deputy Governor. Asante sana. Chief guest, Waziri Daktari Andrew Karanja, our PS, PS Daktari Rono, our development partners, FAO, IFAD, together with the entire team of partners who are supporting us. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the great people of Nandi to say Karibuni Nandi. We are excited and honored, Waziri and our development partners, that Nandi was chosen as the venue and the county to celebrate this year's World Food Day. As a county government and as a people, we don't take it for granted. We want to appreciate that opportunity that you gave us. And as much as it has been indicated that we as a county government have done a lot to the success of this day, I want to appreciate the many sponsors and partners who supported us in this endeavor. First, I want to thank FAO, Asanteni Sana FAO, for partnering with us, being our main sponsors for this event. I want to thank the Ministry of Agriculture. Waziri, your ministry has been part and parcel of this engagement. Tunataka kushukuru sana. Solidaridad, we want to say thank you. They have also supported us in a major way in this event. IFAD, we want to thank you. World Food Program, we want to thank you. KCB, where are you? KCB supported us in a major way. KCB, asante sana. Agricultural Finance, no, AFA, sorry. Agricultural Finance, Agricultural Food Authority. Na tuko na chairman, rafiki yangu Bwana Serem. Asante sana AFA. KCC, wako hapa, wapi KCC? They have supported us. Kenya Dairy Board, they have supported us. MD is here. Tuko na ABSA, wametusaidia, asante sana. Tuko na NCPB, wametusaidia pia, asante sana. Na tuko na CPF, wametusaidia pia. Partners for this kind of an event were our exhibitors. We got more than almost 50 exhibitors across the 3 days. In a very special way, we want to thank all our exhibitors for gracing this occasion, and not just today on 18th. You have been here for 3 days, and you have been able to give the opportunity to our farmers to learn from you as you do your exhibition. Waziri, we decided that we are not just going to celebrate one day. We wanted, if you are celebrating food, you must appreciate the technologies and the effort that goes into production of our food. And that is why we decided that we need to look at a 3-day event where our farmers, and I can tell you on daily basis, we have had close to 1,300 to 1,500 farmers on daily basis for the last 3 days attending this event, having the opportunity to look at our farms, be able to look at the demonstration farms, and also be able to look at the exhibitions that we have had in Kaimosi. So we are sure that courtesy of these 3 days, our farmers have learned new technologies, what needs to be done, and if there is something that you can be able to take home, is the fact that it is possible. So I want to thank our farmers, our stakeholders who came and take advantage of the support that we got from our development partners to have this event here. We want to say also, Chief Guest, as much as this is the national celebrations was done in Nandi this year, I am sure next year it will go to another county, the year after it will go to another county, but the commitment that we have as a county government is that every year we will always have a 3-day exhibition here in Kaimosi as we mark World Food Day as a county. So the fact that we have had this celebration on at a national level does not mean that next year we will not have. We will have next year, and we will continuously celebrate and take advantage of this event as we train our farmers. So we want to thank our development partners for that. Again, all those exhibitors who came here, that stand that you are given, the space that you are given in the demonstration farms, you are not going to hand it over back to us. That is your space. And we want you to keep that space all through the year. This facility is going to be available here throughout the year for training as a training facility for our farmers. Bwana CS, most of the average age of farmers here in Nandi, serious farmers, so to speak, is between the age of 60, growing or moving toward 70, 75. Some of them are even at 80. And if you go to each of those farms, they will tell you a story of Kaimosi. That when they were 20, when they were 30, when they were 40, they had the opportunity to come to Kaimosi for training. But when Kaimosi collapsed, that explains why younger generation of farmers are not available or are not interested in farming. What we want to do today is to ignite the interest of young people and get them back to our farms by ensuring that we teach them new technologies, but also provide a training facility of premier status here in Kaimosi, so that then the facility is available for our farmers. So we want to tell our young people, take advantage. You saw in our demonstration farms that even on 1 point of an acre, you can still do very profitable farming and produce food, not just for our families, but actually for sale, and be able to have disposable income in your pockets. So Kaimosi is an institution that we are rebranding. And we want to thank FAO and many teams here who have made a commitment to support our transformation agenda within this facility. And we are excited, Waziri, as indicated by County Commissioner, is that Head of Public Service leads every civil servant in Kenya. And his only appointment letter is that from His Excellency the President. But the only other small appointment letter that he has is from the Governor of Nandi to be the chair of the board of Kaimosi. And we want to thank His Excellency Felix Kosgei for his humility to accept to come and lead the efforts of transforming a small entity like Kaimosi. And in record 1 year, we are already seeing Kaimosi transforming into a big regional organization. As indicated by Director, this facility is going to support the training of farmers in many of the programs that the national government has identified. Not just farmers in Nandi, not just farmers in the region of Kakamega, Vihiga, but actually in about the west of the Rift. And therefore, this facility, in another short period of time, this will be a center of excellence for farmers training. Na tunataka kuambia wakulima wetu, hii facility tu sio kutrain wakulima wenyewe. Tuko na programs ambazo tumeambiwa na director kwamba wewe kama wewe ni farmer, Bwana Kili, wewe uko ni wapi Kili? Kili is a farmer, Osea Kili MD wa CPF. He is a farmer, lakini yeye kazi yake kubwa ni MD kule Nairobi. Najua shamba yake yeye ashughulikie yeye mwenyewe. Yeye amewaandika wale watu wa kumsaidia katika shamba. Hii facility ya Kaimosi, we are developing a program ambayo wewe utatutumia, yule mtu anakuchungia ng'ombe, yule mtu anakuchungia shamba yako, akuje training hapa ya 1 week or 2 weeks. We want to build the capacity and enhance the capacity of the people on the farm, not just the farmers. So siku ya leo naona kuna wadosi wamekuja, nyinyi ni wadosi. Nyinyi sio yule unakamua. So tunataka ututumie yule mtu anakukamulia ng'ombe, yule anakuchungia ng'ombe, yule anaulisha ng'ombe yako, akuje hapa apate nafasi ya training. And we will provide that training at a highly subsidized price or cost so that our farmers can be able to transform their productivity. So this facility in the next 1 or 2 years, working with the board, working with the management, we are going to turn around this facility. Na sasa wewe waziri, kwa sababu wewe umekuja hapa siku ya leo, kwanza tunakuambia pongezi. Wewe umeingia kazi juzi, You are picked up within the ministry. You are an expert in the agriculture sector. Sasa wewe umetembea hapa kwa Kinandi, kuna kitu inasemwa saa zile elephant ikitembea mahali, kwa sababu elephant ni kubwa, ikikanyaga chini inawacha a depression kidogo. Mvua inakuja, maji inakaa hapo, wanyama ya hiyo area wanakunywa kupitia kwa hiyo. Sasa wewe kama waziri wa agriculture huwezi kuja tu namna hii. Sasa iko maneno kidogo tutakupatia proposal yetu ya a few other areas that we need your support, and I am sure when you retreat back to your office you can be able to sit down and see how you are already supporting us. We want to thank PS. PS, this is not the first time you are here in Nandi. You have been here yesterday. You went to Kaptumo, talked with our farmers, our tea farmers. Umekuja Chebut. Wewe unajua tuko na shida kubwa ya wakulima wetu wa majani chai hapa. We have a major challenge. Bonus ya juzi ilitoka ikiwa chini. Our farmers walikuwa wamejipanga wakijua bonus itaenda juu. Mungu alitusaidia tukapata mvua, majani ikakuwa mingi, lakini bonus ilitu let down. And we thank you for the efforts that you are taking to ensure that our farmers are able to get maximum revenue or income from their efforts. So as PS, bado tusukume hapa, tuko na maneno mingi tunapanga. The president was supposed to be here this year, but we understand rais wetu amekuwa akiumia kidogo. Maneno yake imeenda mzuri jana, leo maneno imekuwa mzuri zaidi. Kesho pengine tunaweza kuwa na sasa deputy president mpya ambaye atasaidiana na rais. And we want to say this country belongs to all of us. And we have seen the efforts that the President of the Republic of Kenya and the energy that he has towards the transformation of our country. But he cannot succeed if he does not get the moral and support from the team that he works with. And therefore, whatever has happened in Parliament yesterday or the whole of last week and today, we want to thank Parliament, and we hope that with the settling of this matter, that we will go back to the basics and start delivering for our people, because we will now have a united government that is led by the president and the deputy president, working with his team of cabinet ministers, and we in devolved units, county governments, will support the effort of the president in transforming our country. And therefore, tunajua most likely waziri tunakutuma, tulikuwa tumemwambia rais akuja atutembelee. I am sure next event ambaye tutakuwa nayo hapa Kaimosi, yeye atapata nafasi ya kututembelea ili tuweze kufanya kazi kwa pamoja kwa ile miradi mingi ambayo yeye ametusaidia. I will conclude by saying this. Wananchi wetu, tunaposherekea World Food Day, ni aibu kwamba katika nchi ya Kenya kuna watu ambao wanakufa na njaa. God has given us a wonderful environment, a wonderful soil, wonderful weather, wonderful climate as Kenya. We can produce enough food for our people. But the embarrassment that we have to go to Uganda, we have to go to Tanzania, we have to go to Russia to buy and import food when our farmers can be able to produce, is a matter that we must reverse. And therefore, as we celebrate World Food Day today, we must also celebrate efforts and identify efforts that we can be able to entrench and secure food production in our country for purposes of food security, but also for purposes of enhancing revenue and resources in the pockets of our farmers. Tufanye kazi pamoja. Na ile maneno muona katika demonstration farms, please can we take akina mama ambao wamekuja hapa, wababa ambao wamekuja mkutano. Hii kitchen gardens ambayo tumeangalia siku ya leo, ambayo kwa shamba ya miguu 4 kwa 4, you can have food, vegetables for all your nutritious vegetables for your family, but even have extra to sell. Nani hawezi kufanya hiyo katika manyumba zetu? Lakini kwa sasa ukienda katika most of the households, tunaenda center kununua sukuma wiki, tunaenda center kununua vitu zingine which we can be able to produce internally. We want to ask you, let us go back to our farms, let us produce food for our families, but also more importantly, produce food for even export so that we can save our country the amount of resources that we are spending on importation of food items. Kwa hivyo sitasema mengi kushinda hapo siku ya leo. We are very excited. Waziri karibu Nandi. PS, we are excited with the work that you are doing. Here in Nandi, we work, the national government and county government work in conjunction. This event was properly planned by the national government team, led by the county commissioner here and myself, for purposes of ensuring that there is synergy. And we thank our development partners. IFAD, Kamara, you are here not just, about 2 weeks ago, you are here in Nandi, launching a program that is already ongoing and supporting our farmers. All our development partners, Nandi County is ready for business. We want to ask you to continue supporting us as we work around the clock to ensure that we transform our economy through agriculture in our county. Na kwa hivyo nitachukua nafasi hii sasa nimkaribishe PS wetu wa agriculture, and the PS for agriculture will make his remarks and invite the chief guest in today's function. Tumpigie makofi bwana Rono. Na yeye atatuambia bonus ya next year, iko strategies gani tutafanya ndio tuweze kuongeza those revenues. Alafu tuko na wale MDs of national government institutions who are here. We want to just recognize you. Tuko na Benedict Tiony. Sasa yeye ndio MD wa Kagrik. Yeye alifanya kazi na sisi hapa akiwa chief officer wetu wa cooperatives. Sasa yeye ndio MD wa Kagrik. Asante sana. Tuko na MD Kibogi kutoka kwa Dairy Board. Asante sana. Yeah? DG wetu wa AFA. Asante sana, tumpigie makofi. Kentek Seth Onyango, tumpigie makofi. Yeah? CEO wetu wa Commodity Fund, tumpigie makofi. Na MD wetu wa Kefis, who are partners with us here. Asanteni sana. So, asante, Sony Sugar wetu, MD wa Sony Sugar, tumpigie makofi. Kalro, tumpigie makofi. Ambassador Cheluget, huyu ni mtoto wa hapa nyumbani, amekuwa a career diplomat. Ambassador Cheluget, lakini pia yeye ana develop, is working on developing an hydro plant hapa Tindinyo Falls for purposes of production of energy ya kusupport. So asante sana, and we hope that when you produce that energy, you can actually support even our factories, because one of the challenges ambayo tuko nayo ni energy, the high cost of energy in our tea factories. Asante sana Ambassador Cheluget. Asanteni sana, wacha nimkaribishe PS wetu, tumpigie makofi PS Rono.
Asante sana Excellency the Governor. Pikia makofi tena. Ni Governor number 1 kwa maneno ya agriculture, ametusupport sana na sisi wake. Hii county tunawekanga mbele tukiongea maneno ya agriculture. Our chief guest for today, the CS in charge of Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, Excellency the Governor of Nandi County, the big team here from the development partners from FAO, WFB, IFAT, who are here with us, the County Commissioner for Nandi, as Madam Mia. I think you have led the other session very well, and we appreciate your continued support and your engagement. The whole team of Kaimosi, I know the chair is not here, but represented by the principal who has talked. And I have somebody called Leah here. I don't know the work of Leah, the function. Leah here, I must appreciate her because he initiated this journey. Thank you, Leah. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and our main guests, the farmers and all the exhibitors, good afternoon. I know it is line time, and today is World Food Day. So we all feel hungry. And when I see as people look very healthy also here, I believe they have taken something while we are away for the last 1 year. Before we celebrate today, this World Food Day. I know Governor Sang has recognized some heads of departments, especially from the national government, the CEOs. Allow me also to recognize the chairpersons of various institutions from the national government. I know we have the chair of AFA, Honorable Serem, chair of Kentech, who is also there, any other chair who is here. And then allow me also to recognize the other government officials who are here, because I'm seeing my team from the Ministry of Agriculture, Buenos Aires, who are here, the whole team from government, beyond chairperson and CEOs. Can you all stand up from the national government? Because we recognize you. We know we are here because you made this day to be this day in style. Asante Nisana, the team from the national government. I know we have also our colleague, the former PS in charge of in education, Alfred Cheruyot. Is here with us. Can you clap for Alfred Cheruyot, former PS for post-training, is here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, this day I've had CS a number of ideas, great ideas from the speakers. I think as an implementer, mine is just to stamp them as I wait for your last speech so that I can conclude my report for action. I know we are celebrating this day when we are faced with a lot of challenges globally, one being the climate change, issues to do with growing population, issues to do with land use, issues to do with technological changes, issues to do with aging of our farmers, among others. Yet we need to produce food for this growing population. It is a challenge, but I want to appreciate this long journey we have made together with a big team of our farmers who have stood strong and firm to make sure that there is food on our table, because food security is real security. If I ask any one of us here to put up his or her hand, if you have not taken food for the last 2 weeks, can you put up your hand? Kindly put up your hand. It means food is life. It means it is real security. It means you cannot live without food. It means it is food which makes you do the next round of activities. We run around because we have eaten. So food security is real security. And it is said no amount of ammunition you can use to control a crowd which is hungry. So without food, it is a big and major security threat. I think we are privileged CS that we are in this ministry, with this government putting the agenda #1 for this administration on food security, with the world also aligning SDG 1.0 and 2.0 on poverty and hunger, and also appreciating that food is healthy on SDG number 3.0 on health. I think the alignment of those 3 priority SDG agendas mean well to say you must eat and you must be healthy. And that is the whole story why we are here today in style to tell the world as a country that we are aligned and we have survived for the last 1 year while everybody was away because the government and all these farmers, the stakeholders, the donor community, and all the development partners have teamed up to produce food for Kenyans. And I would like to appreciate all of us. Can we clap for all of us? Because we are here because we are feeding the nation. I want to mention the following 3 points. Point #1, to go direct. Kaimosi, you are of age. I think within a very short time, I must appreciate the role of the chairman and the stakeholders of Kaimosi. Because when Leah mentioned about this journey, coming to Kaimosi, because I remember it was to be in Elgeyo Marakwet, I was asking, are you ready? She said, we are ready. Are you prepared? Then they said they are prepared. But are you ready for the journey? They demonstrated the speed. I'm happy, Governor, that you supported. I've heard your long speech, and I can tell that there was a journey in between. It was not a very simple journey. It was a rough journey. I want to thank effort. I understand you were there, Kamar, on the ground. FAO, your birthday day, happy birthday. Next time we need to have a cake so that you can get a cake. Because you say there is a cake, it's a happy birthday. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank the other partners, like all these partners you can see here, Power Fusion, Africa, who took part, and the other partners, WFP. We cannot take it for granted, because without you, this colorful day could not have been there, or it could have happened in a different way. Governor, you talk in style, but I want to add something. You talk about this piece of land here being a piece of land which will stand to be owned by the exhibitors from today and forever. But I want to add something while you are away. We said all these 1 day, 2 days, 3 days celebration, we need to change the model so that within the course of the year, there are activities in wherever we are going to celebrate. It is only during a day like today or this time when we hype the activities. And CS, there was a program which is very important. We saw all our ASK show. They are idle until the day when there is a celebration. The show is to be open. The rest of the year, big chunk of land, nothing going on. You only wait for that 1 day, which is a hot day, and we want to demonstrate to the world that we are alive. So we said, instead of those shows being idle, can we keep part of that land for the counties or, yes, wherever they are, so that they have something called acro-city, so that when we have investors, they have a place to go. Governor, we are saying the story of investors coming to your office and signing visitors' book should stop. They should sign a visitors' book, visit a center, a serious acro center, or a serious investment center. If it is the World Furniture Center in Nandi County, let everybody go there, so that you have a story, and you know, whenever you go, you visit these other states, you are not taken to a small corner. You are taken to an investment premise, whereby you finally come up with something small. You have bought, you have spent money. Can that happen in Kenya, so that we have these centers whereby when we have our investors coming to Kenya, we take them there, they buy chocolate, they buy tea, they buy soda, they buy our local product, even if it is furniture, so that we say, Governor, yeah, you have arrived, I can now take you to Acro City, you see our furniture, it looks like a mall, but you can extend now to our, this type of farming, if need be. Farmers, this day is not just a day. It is not an ordinary day. I learned you have come here in numbers. And I've also visited some ASK show. I was also in Wasingishu on some other exhibition. But farmers and all of us, let a day and an opportunity like this one be an opportunity, real opportunity for us. You have heard about climate change. It is very wild and it's a big challenge. But as we visit this small exhibition, and exhibitors, thank you, we need to learn something. Issues to do with technology, please take something home. We'll pick some of the key exhibition near Wanasias, so that we go and upscale and support our farmers and support the exhibitors. The one which we picked and we are about to roll very soon is the kitchen farm, the kitchen garden. It is at a very advanced stage that this kitchen garden will be launched by the national government, so that we roll out across the country, because we picked from the exhibition and we realized it is something important. There are many technologies we have seen, and I want to request all of us, please don't come and just take a photo and forget in your phone the photos. I know you have a lot of photos now. So what? Please let those photos not occupy your phones for the sake of just being seen that you are somewhere with a very sophisticated technology, but you finally did nothing than just to show a friend and nothing happened. So I want also to encourage our partners. As we align these programs, please assist us. FAO, you have come strong. You have supported us in a number of initiatives. You have mentioned, and I want to assure and tell and confirm to this delegation that is a true story. In fact, I know you have worked with us very hard, and you have really supported this government in big and strong. And matters to do with sustainability, I also support 100%. We thank you for that, and I want really, we scale up the activities of IFAD, FAO, WFP, so that we can support this particular program on food security. Finally, I want to say that our celebration on food security, on World Food Day as a country, this is a very rare moment, when as a country, having put agenda for food security to be number one, we have run a number of programs. And as we talk now, we are talking about our people are fed. If you remember, there was a time when people were putting safriyas in their heads. I don't know where they went, but I am told that there is food. So what next? So there is food. And when you travel across the country, we are waiting for a pamba harvest. Our farmers have done us proud, and I want to appreciate them. As we talk matters to do with sugar, and I want to thank AFA. Over the last 1 year, we have stopped importation of sugar, and we are working on exportation of sugar. This is a very rare moment when Kenya, we are exporting maize, giving maize to Zimbabwe, around 100,000 bucks. We are saying we have enough, and we can also support our neighbors. It has never happened. So as we go along this journey with incremental steps and action, our partners let us team up, and we welcome your ideas, your plans, so that we can in future, when we'll be talking about food, World Food Day, we have a story to tell, which is a successful story, and which will demonstrate that we have reduced the gap when it comes to people who cannot access food, but there is food. So in Kenya, we'll be working on access to food and nutrition because we have enough food. So that journey will start. Otherwise, with those few remarks, you know, today is not my day, lakini nimeona muko Arabu around, nasalimia nyinyi chana CS nilikuwa hapa, nikalala hapa, nikakula mzuri, na unaona ni line time, na I know they are saying, si watu amalize waende tuende tukule, because it's a World Food Day. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest today. I want us to remain upstanding as we welcome our CS in charge of Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development who will make his remark and officially open this day. Welcome, CS.
Thank you. Be seated. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Governor of the great county of Nandi, Stephen Sang, and the Deputy Governor. It's always good to recognize the deputies. The Principal Secretary, Ministry, State Department of Agriculture, our partners, Madam Kamara, and Sanka from WFP, Hamisi, FAO, and others who are here present with us. County Commissioner Nandi and your GAO team, we recognize you. Senior government and county officials who are here, and members of the County Assembly. I saw a big team. Thank you very much for coming. And the hosts, Kaimosi, ATC, and all protocols observed. distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be here with you today in Nandi County to mark this memorable occasion of the 2024 National World Food Day celebrations. As a nation, we join over 150 countries worldwide in celebrating the World Food Day. That is being held annually on 16 October, and it commemorates the founding of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. This year's World Food Day 2024 marks the 79th anniversary, and the aim of this celebration is to take stock of the strides we have made towards attaining food and nutrition security and strengthen our resolve in eradicating poverty, hunger, malnutrition among Kenyans. Ladies and gentlemen, the mandate of the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development is to promote transformation of food security and socio-economic development. And we have the Agriculture Sector Growth and Transformation Strategy, STGS, and also the bottom-up transformation agenda, which we call BETTER, which all emphasize the critical role of agriculture transformation in growth of our economy, reducing the cost of food, and then enhancing livelihoods and alleviating poverty. Needless to say that the target of achieving 100% food and nutrition security is seriously challenged by the effects of climate change and global economic recession, resulting in high cost of food commodities that has affected availability, access, affordability of nutritious and safe food. As a result, the World Food Day is considered an opportunity to call for global cooperation and solidarity to make sure the threats opposing food security and agricultural livelihoods are confronted and most vulnerable groups are able to recover. This theme, I would say the theme of this year's World Food Day is Right to Food for a Better Life and Better Future, highlighting the importance of affordability, accessibility, as well as the safety of and the sustainability of foods, raising awareness about how a great diversity of nutritious food could be available in our fields, fishing nets, markets, and our tables for the benefit of all. Today, hunger is often worsened by frequent weather changes, economic downturns, and conflict. World Food Day 2024 is focusing on solutions to ensure that all people have enough and adequate and regular access to diverse, safe, nutritious food, and in the process, leaving no one behind. The theme of this celebration also resonates very well with the bottom-up agenda. We're ensuring food security, improving livelihoods and income for all Kenyans. To this end, the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, has undertaken significant interventions in the past 2 years to support agricultural transformation and inclusive growth. And I would like to highlight some of them. One of them, and it has been mentioned here by FAO, is farmer registration and rollout of the e-voucher system. The government, through the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, has implemented what we call the Kenya Integrated Agricultural Management and Information System, KIAMIS. And today, we can boast that we have a record showing of enrolling 6.45 million farmers in our global register, digital register. This is a good milestone, and actually it is one of the key areas where other countries are coming to benchmark. And as a CS for Agriculture, I'm very proud of this, because today I can say I know my farmers. I can touch a button and I can know who are Kenyan farmers. Ninawajua wakulima wa Kenya kwa majina sasa. So you can be able to target them. So this, especially the help we have received from our development partners to take up this, to register, to enroll the 6.5 million, has been very instrumental. Through this initiative, we have been able to roll out what we call the e-voucher and distribute about 1.83 million of them So these days, if you want fertilizer, you get an e-voucher on your phone. And for the short lanes, we had issued 1.83. And as we go along for this coming season, I'm sure we will be able to issue more. In addition to registering our farmers, we have also registered about 16,000 agro dealers and 7,115 stockists across 45 countries who have been georeferenced and registered. These key players will facilitate what we call the last mile, or to some people, they call it the first mile. Our maize production has increased, as PS has indicated. We have not only enough in the country, but we have also started seeing signs that we can be able to export some of the maize into our neighboring countries. This is due to the government intervention in the subsidy program, and of course, through the good weather which has been able to occur. And the net effect of this has that the high cost of food, as we know in Kenya, has significantly come down. In tea, the government intervention in terms of subsidized fertilizer has also beared fruit, and our tea farmers last year almost produced 600 million kilograms of tea, and the earnings almost to 200 billion. So those are benefits which are going directly to our tea farmers. As it has been said, Kenya produced 800 metric tons of sugar for 16 factories in 2023. Production in 2024 is projected to surpass this amount, with improved local sugar production leading to sugar prices, and the government has stopped sugar importation. And cane production has increased by almost 340% to 174 metric tons to 4,900 metric tons. And for the first time in many years, Kenya has been self-sufficient in sugar production. Our leather is one of the key areas where the government is also focusing. And the initiatives undertaken by the government to revive the leather industry include operationalizing the Karioko Common Manufacturing Facility, completing the central effluent treatment plants at Kenani Industrial Park in Machakos, and providing training and tools for flyers of skin and hinds. The government is also going to lower the risks in doing business in agriculture sector. And in this regard, the government has supported livestock insurance scheme. The scheme has increased coverage by 65.5% from 304,000 animals in 2022 to 500,469 animals in 2024, and providing financial support to the pastoralists. Our dairy, we have not forgotten our dairy and meat products. Due to government interventions, the minimum price of milk has increased by 35% from 2022 to about 50% in 2024, based on KCC figures. This has resulted in increased milk production by 13% from 4.6 billion liters in 2022 to 5.2 liters in 2024. On the other hand, meat exports have grown from 15,000 metric tons in 2022 to 16,281 metric tons in 2023. We saw a managing director here for Kenya Animal Genetic Resources, and we are almost now producing 1 million doses of bull semen, an increase of about 6%. And we have established a neo-goat semen facility in Kirinyaga County. And I would dare say this is the first one in Africa. So on livestock feeds, the government also has implemented duty waivers and the VAT exemption to stabilize prices. So ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the measures which the government continue to do, and they have borne fruit, and they have tremendously contributed towards the food security which we all yearn for. Food and nutrition security is a key component of our national development, as reflected in better agenda to enhance food security, and our ministry has many, as I have indicated, has many programs which has beared fruit. Through the subsidy program, for instance, access to subsidized fertilizer to of about 12.5 million bags has been given to farmers against apparent consumption of about 15 million bags, accounting for 83% coverage. The cost of 550 kilogram planting top fertilizer has also come down from 7,000 to 2,500 per 50 kilogram bag. I am happy to note that due to increased fertilizer use and favorable weather, the ministry has recorded increased production in all priority value chains. However, there remain some challenges which we need to tackle, and one of the challenges which we need to tackle is the need to put in place measures to curb post-harvest losses, mainly due to poor storage, inadequate drying facilities, poor weather conditions during the period of harvest. In view of this, the government distributed 100 grain dryers to identified NCPB and community-based organization, NCPB posts and community-based organization. And I urge farmers to take advantage of this equipment to address the post-harvest losses. However, as it has been pointed by His Excellency the Governor, Kenya continues to import a sizable amount of food. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, last year, we imported food worth $4 billion. Multiply that by 130, that comes to around 520 billion Kenya shillings. And we are a country endowed by resources, so we are spending 520 billion importing food and food items. One of the key imports is rice. We are importing 1 million metric tons of rice. Yet we have the land, Governor. We can grow even upward rice. So one of our major tasks as a government is to reverse that trend, to make sure that we are not spending our foreign-earned currency, hard-earned foreign currency to import food. We are exporting tea, we are exporting coffee, we are exporting our horticulture, and then we are buying food. That is not good. And you agree, most of you agree with me. The other area where we are not doing, the other food item which is we are spending a lot of money is what we call the edible oils. Mafuta ya kupikia. We are spending 100 billion on that one alone. So the government has formulated what we are calling the edible oils crops promotion project, to co-fund by the National Treasury and the Agriculture Food Authority, ALPHA, and we are spending this year a sum of 981 million. The project, which we commenced on July 2023, covers Rift Valley, Western, Nyanza, Central, Eastern, and Coastal regions, and Nandi County being one of the beneficiary counties. And through this program, we have availed 556 metric tons of sunflower seeds to farmers in 34 counties, with further investment in seed multiplication and coconut cultivation. This has led to increase in acreage of sunflower from 60,000 acres to 64,980 in 2024 as part of the edible oils promotion project. This project seeks to also introduce intervention to increasing production and processing of sunflower, canola, soya beans, and coconut value chains to empower women through value addition. I therefore urge the beneficiary counties to mobilize women and other farmers towards planting sunflower as women make critical decision on cooking oil usage. So tunawasihi wale watapata hiyo begu mpande. There are already many what we call off-takers. The companies which are manufacturing cooking oils in this country are looking for that sunflower oil. They are ready to buy from the farmers. So, Your Excellency, the Governor, I think the challenge is for us to organize the farmers. They get the seed, and then they produce the sunflower, and then the companies will come to buy. I am impressed to note that Nandi County has a high potential for agriculture and livestock production. Maize, sweet potatoes, Irish potatoes, tea, vegetables, and dairy largely produced here in Nandi are among the priority value chains that we have identified and aligned to the agriculture pillar under the better. In 2023, I note that Nandi County produced about 1,560,000 bags of 90 kilograms of maize. This year, the country is projected to produce 1.7 million bags due to increased access to subsidized fertilizer and good weather. However, the county's potential is yet to be fully utilized in food production. So we would like to urge the county team to make sure that to utilize that potential to the fullest so that we are able to realize our potential. To support agriculture production in the county, the national government is implementing several projects in partnership with the county government. Some of the projects include the SHAPE Bees project, which support the country with the support of the government of Japan. We have the Kenya Cereal Enhancement Project, supported by European Union, and the National Agricultural Value Chains Development Project, NAVCDP, supported by the World Bank, among others. I urge farmers to take advantage of these projects' intervention to enhance production and productivity in their respective enterprises. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, let me observe that the World Food Day in 2024 is a constant reminder of the importance of access to nutritious food. I am personally convinced that technologies spread here will be available to our farmers so that they can be able to adopt them and make sure that they enhance their production. What I would like to say is that in order for us to achieve the targets we have set, one of the key challenges which has been there is the way we do business. The way we do business is that we have, as a country, not been well coordinating our activities. The national government, the county governments, the private sector, our development partners, we have a lot of resources. When we are being interviewed, we are being asked about the budget. But when you look at our books, you realize that there is a lot of resources which are around. But are we coordinating? What I have, as a Cabinet Secretary, vowed to do give priority is to work to promote partnerships, to promote collaboration so that we can work with our counties. Already there is a meeting, an agriculture committee meeting, intergovernmental meeting at the end of this month where we'll be discussing with the counties how to do business, how to do some of the issues which we have. I'm looking also forward towards the dialogue with the private sector and the development partners, because I believe that is where our strength is. If we partner well, we collaborate well, there are resources which can be able to help us to do what we are required to do. The national government is doing what it can. The county governments are also trying within the limits of their constraints, but in partnership, we will be able to do more. Your Excellency, the government, and you said when an elephant comes, kuna wacho kashimo kidogo, mti unakuwa hapo. Yes, so I'm ready, and I had the message, and I'm looking forward to working with you and your team, and whatever we can do as a national government and your county government, we will be able to do together. So, with those remarks, it is my great pleasure to say that I have enjoyed to be in Nandi, and I hope you have also enjoyed to be here in the World Food Day, and we have learned vital lessons. And I take the message from you, Governor, that you have promised that it will not be one-off event. You are going to make it every year a 3-day event. And we will support you. Our team, our state agencies which are here, represented here, they will support you so that you make it a success. And the people of the great county of Nandi run from these events. FAO, thank you for bringing us together, and the other agencies for bringing us together to celebrate this day here in Nandi. And with those few remarks, Thank you very much, na Mungu awabariki. Thank you.
Asante sana. Makofi manne mazuri. 1, 2, 3 na 4. Asante sana. Basi nitaomba tuweze kuketi. Nitaomba tuketi ili tuweze kushuhudia uzinduzi wa Post-Harvest Loss Management Strategy 2024 to 2028 na pia Kiamis Data Governance Framework. Na nataka kumwomba Agriculture Secretary Collins Marangu aje atuongoze. Makofi kwa Agriculture Secretary Collins Marangu anapokuja. Na baada ya uzinduzi tutaweza kushuhudia uzinduzi huu ambao utasaidia kupambana na post-harvest loss. Tunajua baada ya kuvuna kuna wakulima ambao wanapata hasara. Asante, karibu.
Okay, thanks so much MC, our chief guests, PS Agriculture, our governor, all protocols observed. Good afternoon. Kwani tuko na njaa? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. That is better. That means Bwana PS, your people have eaten. So I'm here, first of all, to thank FAO, World Resource Institute, and IFAD, and I want to request them to come here. FAO, IFAD, and WRI to come on stage. We are talking about post-harvest losses. It is very unfortunate that as we struggle to harvest, or rather to produce, all what we produce is not normally eaten, or rather it is not normally put in good use. Some of it get lost. And because of that, this team in Frontier, together with the government, national government, they came up with a strategy to be able to manage the losses and the waste. I want to ask you a very simple question. How many times when you are serving food, you put the food on the plate which you don't finish? How many times? We are used to cafeteria. You put a heap of food, you take 3-4 spoons, the rest you waste. That is waste. And we are saying, because of what you do, 14 to almost 70% of what we produce is not put into proper use. And here our cabinet secretary is telling us to be food secure. Then we are producing and we are wasting. So this team here, these are the people who supported the Minister of Agriculture and Livestock Development to come up with that strategy. I want to give each a minute to say something as I welcome our PS on stage also, so that we can welcome the governor and the cabinet secretary to come and reveal the strategy.
Thank you very much. Guest of honor, Governor Nandi County, all protocols observed. It gives me great pleasure to stand here today as we witness the unveiling of the post-harvest strategy for food loss and waste for the next 5 years in this country. It is a big up for the government to have seen that there's need to stop the wastage of 30% of the food that we produce. And with this strategy as WRI, in which prevention of food loss and waste is one of our core or flagship projects, we are thinking of the next steps, which is really taking it to the counties, making sure counties have domesticated it, and we have already earmarked resources at least this year to reach out to 2 countries. Thank you very much. World Resource Organization is global organization based in Washington, but in Kenya is already solidified under African leadership. We call ourselves World Resources Africa. Thank you very much.
1 minute, please.
For us, really, in the interest of time, we'll hand over to our big brother, FAO, to speak for us.
The big sister. Anyway, mine is simple. For this particular one, I want to indicate that 3 years ago, there was the study that indicated that post-harvest losses was actually going with 30% of what we produce. And FAO was called to this challenge and said if we were able to support. And I wanted to say, our cabinet secretary and the PS, that this is one of the support that FAO has done from FAO's internal resources without any donation or donor from outside. We went to Rome, we put the case for Kenya, and we were given $500,000 US. And the $500,000 US did the research. The teams went round, supported the ministry, supported the stakeholder conversations until eventually this document was produced. And allow me just to thank the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health, and also the other teams who also put their signature. Now we have a national document from post-harvest loss strategy.
Now I want to take this opportunity to welcome the PS, the CS, and the governor. Please come on stage. I want us to clear this one very fast because of the weather. Bwana PS, escort the governor, escort the chief guest on stage, please, to unveil this strategy. Wapigieni makofi wakikuja jameni. Uchawi wa makofi ni wa nini? This is a team.
Now, hear this.
Where is that ready? Where? MC, come here. Can you pick hiyo mbwembo as they cut it, please? Hiyo mbwembo zako ndio nataka size we cut this so that it can unveil there.
Yeah. Aya, asante sana. Basi wakati watakuwa wanazindua, tutaweza kupiga makofi, shangwe na nderemo, na nitaomba muweze kushika vitabu. Na baada ya kushika vitabu nitamwomba waziri
escorted by the governor
weze kushika makasi kisha utukatie. Aya, shangwe na vigelegele. Basi imeweza post-harvest loss management strategy launch imeweza kuzinduliwa. Makofi. Asante sana waziri wetu, gavana akishuhudia. Basi post-harvest loss management strategy imeweza kuzinduliwa. Kumbuka ni ya mwaka wa 2024 hadi 2028. Basi naomba tuweze wageni wetu wakipiga picha, ishara kwamba strategy hii imeweza kuzinduliwa. Asante. Makofi.
Thank you so much. You can also
Asante. Basi mkisimama tu hapo, nitamwomba waziri wetu pia atuongoze kwa uzinduzi wa Kiamis Data Governance Framework. Yuko upande huu mwingine, na hii itasaidia kupata data ya wakulima wote. Na muomba PS Daktari Rono uweze kusimama kando ya CS. Tena makofi wanapozindua Kiamis Data Governance Framework. Makofi jameni. Asante sana waziri wetu, asante sana gavana, asante PS.
Iliyo ya kweli, amani ambayo sikupata kwingine. DJ Chris,
naomba tena muweze kushika vitabu. vya Kiamis mweze kushika ile tupige picha, mpigwe picha. Ishara kwamba Kiamis Data Governance Framework imezinduliwa rasmi. Makofi.
Yeah.
Asante sana. Asante. Basi
So maybe as
management.
we start now, as we stand there now, I would request the chief guest to hand over a few copies to the county government of Nandi of the strategy. Yeah, sasa hii ni ceremony ingine maba. Sasa yeah, so some copies so that now so that apatie counties zingine. Thanks so much. Also for Kiamis, a copy. Yeah. Yeah, umepata lakini akupatia officially. That was for, okay. So thanks so much, our chief guest. Thanks so much for that session, and I sincerely thank our chief guest for accepting to launch the tune document for us. So thanks so much. Back to the MC.
Waziri and PS, Waziri and PS, you know, in this county we work together with members of parliament. Apologies from all our members of parliament who are not able to be here because of the work that was happening in Nairobi. Apologies of our members of parliament, including our Iala member of parliament, Zipporah Kering, and the team who would have been here. So, poleni sana.
Asante. Asante sana. Tunaelekea kukamilisha hafla ya siku ya leo, na nataka sasa kuwaita wale ambao watapewa zawadi siku ya leo. Kuna watu na vikundi ambavyo vitapewa zawadi siku ya leo, na wakati wa maonyesho ambayo yalianza juzi tarehe 16 na kukamilika hapo jana, na pia leo maonyesho haya yanaendelea. Kuna categories tofauti ambazo zitaweza kupewa zawadi. Judges waliweza kutembea kwenye vibanda na pia mashamba kuona wale ambao wameleta bidhaa kuonyesha wakulima katika hafla hii. Basi kuna wale ambao walionekana wakifanya vema, na bila kupoteza wakati, kwa ruhusa yako mgeni wetu wa heshima, nataka kuwatambua wale ambao watapewa tuzo siku ya leo. Best Overall Farmer ni Ann Mibei. Makofi. Basi nataka kumuita mgeni wetu wa heshima Dr. Andrew Karanja aje ampe zawadi. Nataka kumkaribisha Best Overall Farmer, na tafadhali mkiitwa tuweze kuja kwa haraka. Asante. Makofi. Huyo ni Ann Mibei ambaye ni Best Overall Farmer. Asante sana. Asante sana. Anapigwa picha hapo na waziri Daktari Andrew Karanja. Best Dairy Farmer Austin Chumba, na nitamwomba PS Daktari Paul Rono ampe zawadi. Asante. Makofi. Huyo Austin Chumba ambaye ni Best Dairy Farmer. Yeye ni mkulima, ni mfugaji wa ng'ombe wa maziwa. Anafuga ng'ombe wa maziwa. Asante sana Austin Chumba. Best Environmental Conservation Sun Culture, nitamwomba gavana wetu wakili Stephen Sang atusaidie kupeana zawadi. Makofi. Hawa ndio wametunza mazingira. Best Environmental Conservation. Asante sana. Best Demonstration. Kunradhi, Best Value Addition and Agro Processing Mumbozuma Enterprises. Nitamwomba naibu gavana wetu atusaidie kupeana zawadi.